Yeah, if it wasn't for this tournament, I think Neo said it like at the start of this tournament, this actually got him to like start doing actual runs because for a while he didn't do runs for that much, right? He just did like ILs.
Yeah, Neo's a pretty notorious IL grinder. He works a lot on trying to optimize the darker side route, and as a result, he does a lot of timings and stuff and tries to get good ILs with like different strats. So for a while, he was just doing a lot of ILs, kind of training in the background. And as of like the last month, I would say he's really been putting in the time to do actual full runs and getting pretty good times in the process. And he's actually getting pretty close to challenging Bayleef's world record, which Bayleef has
My
held the
God,
record in this category for well over a year at this point.
yeah,
So Neo's like, there were a couple times where Timpani was getting pretty close to Bayleef. Bayleef was always more dedicated to this category, so he kept pulling back ahead. But I think Neo right now is kind of challenging, like giving Bayleef like the biggest run for his money that he's seen in a while. Definitely in like a good 6-7 months.
yeah. I think when Bailey first started like taking over the category, I can't pronounce his name that well. I think it's like Antonovich or something. He had the record for a while with like a 330 to 320, and then Bayleef and him kind of traded the record back and forth. And then I think the other guy kind of dropped the category and just the game altogether. And then Bayleef just kept on going, and he's just been so consistent ever since like he started getting the record. Neo missing left side, that's unfortunate. But Bayleef's consistency is really the key to him having the record for such a long time.
Yeah, for sure. And when you talk about like the world record competition, I believe Neo actually has a better sum of best than Bayleef by like a good margin. But like you said, Bayleef is just so consistent at everything he does that his PB winds up being better. And that actually lends itself really well to a tournament because obviously, if he is so consistent, he's going to be able to do everything, pretty much every run the same way. And I wouldn't be surprised if he comes within like only a minute or two of his PB in this race, just because he is so consistent in everything. Whereas Neo definitely is like a higher ceiling, but higher variability kind of runner. So he could pull off like a really good time, obviously, in this race, but he's much more prone to falling behind, I would say.
I mean, we got FMS right here, so
Yeah, version difference. So as it turns out, since this is a no frog skip tournament, for Darker Side, that's like the biggest difference between 1.0 and 1.2. So if you're banning frog skip, the versions wind up coming out pretty even as far as time saves go. So you're gonna see Neo do stuff like FMS, and like this is his single biggest time save over Bayleef, but Bayleef has like a lot better load times because of having digital, and he can take advantage of some like hint arts and stuff. So it'll wind up evening out basically over the course of the run, but this is like a good early advantage for Neo. So
yeah,
he's gonna have a sort of visual lead, but he didn't really save time with FMS.
no frog skip. Digital 1.2 is the fastest because of loads. And despite what people say, like, oh, just use 1.0 anyway, the clips are so much easier. 1.2 players usually don't have much trouble with the clips, so it's not like it really matters.
Yeah, I'd say the clips are more so difficult to learn on 1.2. Once you have a good feel for them, they're not too bad. They're not too much worse than 1.0. Usually people, top runners of like World Peace and Darker Side will get both clips within 5 tries or so on a lot of runs, which same thing typically happens on 1.0, two or 3 tries, a lot of runs. So not too big of a difference on the clips once you're experienced with them. It's just kind of harder to get started.
Oh, bonk.
Yeah, you're gonna take a bonk on that rock there. Thankfully, the chain chomp didn't like run into it and break it, because that happens sometimes. That's like one of the most tilting mistakes.
It also lags the game.
Yeah. Neo gonna kind of clip through the ceiling here with this chest moon. he has to get that extra moon because of FMS. Skipping the first story moon, he still needs 5 to leave the kingdom, so he's gonna have to grab that extra one. Whereas Bayleef will just grab the one on the cliff. And it's actually, in the case of playing on 1.2, it's actually more optimal to get that treasure chest moon instead of the one on the cliff. But if you don't get that moon clip through the ceiling, then it becomes slower. So going for the cliff moon is like a much greater consistency play. And the chest moon is only like fractions of a second faster anyways.
Yeah. How good are these two players any percent wise? Because like the any percent portion, despite you getting a lot of extra moons and stuff, it still matters like a lot compared to the post game section, which is why runners like Nicrovita, who's like one of the top any percent runners, he tried out this category for a bit, and he actually had kind of an advantage over most people because of the any percent portion alone. So if Neo and Bayleef actually, both of them, got better at like the first half of the run, the time could actually get a lot lower. I don't really know how good these two are at the any percent stuff, but I think Bayleef has like a 105 from a year ago.
Yeah, Bayleef has not run really any category other than this in quite a long time, I think. I think he's dabbled with AUM a little bit, but definitely like Darker Side is his go-to thing. He doesn't really mess with the other categories too much these days. So he does have a 105, but he's certainly like, I'd say skill level wise, yeah, like 102 level, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see, because after sub 1 hour in any percent, I think a lot of any percent runners are gonna start switching over to this or World Peace, which could also transfer to this. And it's gonna be interesting how much lower the time's gonna get with them coming in and optimizing everything.
Yeah, I know off the top of my head, Chaos Pringle, Nicro, and Lil Curbs have all expressed interest in running Darker Side after sub 1, and they are the 3 that are basically right there, closest to achieving that. So potentially we're gonna see some. Yeah, potentially gonna see some pretty high level runners coming to optimize this category a little more, which is always great to see. I'd say like this category has only had like maybe 5 or 6 people at like the top level who have really pushed it to any extent. So it'll be really nice if we get another wave of runners coming in and, you know, fresh eyes on looking at the route, looking at strats that can be done. And you're gonna come up on this pyramid clip and get it first try, because that's the 1.0 way right there. That wall basically doesn't exist on 1.0. We'll see.
Why didn't he just walk through it?
I mean, you pretty much can. That's what it feels like anyway. Well, Bayleef is going to come up on that as well after grabbing this Lost in the Luggage Moon. We'll see if he can have a good clip as well. I'd say anything within like 5 tries, runners would consider, you know, that's good. Especially on 1.2.
Definitely requires more of a setup than 1.0.
Yeah, so you saw Bayleef kind of crouch as he walked into the wall. That was to line himself up at the spot that he wanted to be. I know he likes to do that. Everyone kind of has their own little. I think that was like 6 tries, so that's good enough. Losing time to Neo a little bit there, but nothing too crazy. He can definitely make that up elsewhere. That's the kind of clip that it's not perfect, but you know you'll accept it because you know it's not going to be first try every time.
I mean, he got it first try at HDQ, so...
Exactly. You know, you can't have it all.
We're up in the end of the pyramid here. Pretty simple movement. I think for a while, like when the game was first out and people were kind of experimenting with stuff just for fun, bullet bill lists in the pyramid was actually slower because you had to like long jump around the pillar. We didn't know you could go up top, but obviously now it's way faster than using the bullet bill.
Yeah, just kind of go up over this little wall. Not too crazy difficult.
Dang, no first person strats.
That's like a super micro optimization that you could do.
Oh, he did it.
He
At fur.
just likes to line it up. See, I find it kind of interesting. Neo lines up on like really far down the wall to do this. Most people, including myself, would just line up directly across from Harriet, pushed up against the wall. But he does it like further down. I wonder if there's a reason for that, or if it's just how he's done it. And taking the screenshot for God knows what reason.
Yeah, I actually have no idea where to properly stand for this fight. I know where to stand for the Bowsers and Darkseid fights, but not this one.
So this one, like the first phase is kind of a little weird, but the second and third phase, as you see Bayleef just pushing up against the wall, if you do that on the wall closest to Harriet, she'll always take 2 steps and no more. And 2 steps is the minimum.
Speaking of that wall, that's actually a way to tell what version each runner's on, because you can't push up against that in 1.0.
Yeah, you can like run up against it, but Mario will just be like in his running or walking animation still. Whereas on 1.2, for whatever reason, he actually puts his hands up there and pushes on it like a mime.
Nintendo really went in on the walls in 1.2.
Yeah. They tried their hardest, but still able to clip into that pyramid, so speedrunners win again.
I wonder if it's possible on Balloon World to clip in the amount of time you have.
Well, in Balloon World, the pyramid is already raised in the air.
Oh, can you not do it like on the little step? I guess
no, because the door's open. Or no, the door's not open, but yeah, you can't, because the reason the clip works is because of not only the wall but the ground that you're on. Like a lot of the roll cancel clips in this game, they work when the ground is like kind of sloped in front of the wall. And I've actually always kind of had a theory that those clips, you're not actually going through the wall, but you're kind of clipping through the floor. Because like if the floor raises up into the wall, it would kind of make sense to me that you're clipping through like that raised up section of the ground.
Yeah.
But obviously that's pretty much pure speculation on my part. We don't really know exactly why the clips work. Probably something we won't know until we have some kind of tassing tool to look at it on like a frame by frame basis.
Yeah, the TAS is kind of like the emulator stuff. It's kind of in the works, but like, I think we have an emulator. It's just not good. Like at all.
I mean, there's an emulator in progress, but that's just like only the first step. Like first they need to like optimize the emulator to a point where it actually runs the game somewhat accurately, and then secondly there has to be actually like actual tassing tools built into the emulator to do much with it. So we're probably looking at quite a bit of time, probably multiple years before we can start thinking about a serious task for this game.
This ice cave, my favorite sub area in the game.
Really?
I mean, I don't even know if it's considered a sub area, but I consider it one, and it's my favorite for sure.
I mean, it's more like, it's like a story area. Story areas are kind of like different. It's like the tunnels in Snow Kingdom.
Yeah. It's the ice physics in this game, when you like actually move well on them, the movement is just so good.
That's true. If you know what to do with the ice, you can do some nutty stuff.
Like the roll cancels into, like, I came up with a strat for the Goomba Tower where you can do a spin throw roll cancel on the ice and just immediately go into the Goombas.
Yeah, and you can do stuff like a roll cancel, use the ice to slide after you keep your momentum and like run into your cap to get a really sick vault off of Cappy. Stuff like that. So yeah, if you know how to use it, definitely the ice can be
for AUM.
Yeah, doing some cap throw farming there.
If only we had jump, jump, jump in Darker Side.
Oh
Tiffany
boy.
would run this category so much more.
Oh, that's exactly what the category needs. New subcategory, Darker Side with jump, jump, jump required.
I mean, there is a category extensions leaderboard.
Oh my god.
I mean, speaking of kind of throwing in kind of random moons, Darker Side randomizer is a thing that's been happening.
That's true,
talk
yeah.
about that a bit, because you did I mean, didn't you like forfeit the race you were doing?
Well, yeah, I did, but my Yeah, we won't talk about that. But yeah, there's a nice little program that one of the members of the community made, JKT Cops, with the help of a couple other people. Um, oh, it doesn't compile. Oh no, he broke it. But regardless, he did have a working program that generates a random list of 500 moons, but with like reasonable logic behind it. So you won't get caught doing really dumb stuff, and you won't like get assigned a moon that has a prerequisite without also getting assigned that prerequisite. So it's a nice little program that gives you a list of 500 moons and kind of also acts as a checklist that you can mark off moons that you've collected as you're doing the run. But yeah, it's a nice little darker side randomizer. So 500 random moons. And yeah, we did a race of that. It's pretty fun concept. And yeah, it's like darker side. You can follow like the general idea of a darker side route, but flex your knowledge of everything in the game.
Yeah, it's kind of like bingo in a way where you can just kind of make up routing on the fly, which
Yeah.
is really cool. I'm
Yeah,
not
so
very good at it, but I like it.
it's hard. I will say it's really difficult. Like bingo, I found after doing a few rounds of it, I was pretty good at figuring out what I needed to do and kind of what order I needed to do it in. But with the darker side randomizer, it's just so much information to process because 500 moons compared to 25 bingo goals, it's quite a lot to take in. But yeah, it's pretty fun if you can just take it kingdom by kingdom and kind of take the list of 10 to 40 moons, however many in any given kingdom, and try to figure out the best way to go and gather all of them. It's a fun time. Yeah,
Yeah,
Neo.
speaking of bingo, we actually did have a triple bingo tournament earlier or actually last year, and I believe Neo got 3rd place in that tournament. So if
Yeah,
this is actually gonna be his second top 3 placing in a speed gaming tournament for this game, and he might actually win. Who knows?
yeah, it's definitely possible. Still taking this slight lead into Wooded Kingdom.
Deep woods.
Yeah, Deep Woods here. This is, in most categories of this game, this is a place you want to avoid at all costs. But in the case of Darker Side, there's actually 5 moons down here that wind up being pretty quick. Because you have to gather 500 over the course of the run, so that's more than half the unique moons in the game. So coming down here for some of the moons is a pretty good idea, but it can be scary.
So you saw both runners kind of roll off the edge of Wooded Kingdom there. They want to land in a specific spot of the deep woods because for some reason you can land in different spots, and they want to land right next to this tree so that all the movement and the routing with the T-Rex adds up perfectly.
Yeah, I think there's like 3 different spawn points in the deep woods, and it all just depends on where you jump in. So yeah, they just rolled kind of around the corner to get a better landing spot to put you closer to that first moon.
Yeah, this T-Rex is probably the most important thing about Deep Woods because you want him to have a good cycle, so you're not just chasing him with the nut the whole time.
Yeah, so he's on a cycle from when you enter the Deep Woods, basically. So you want your movement to be like fast and consistent every time from the point you enter the Deep Woods till the point you capture the dinosaur, so that, like you said, he's not running all over the place avoiding you. And thankfully, we also use those seeds to knock him out. It's pretty convenient.
It's faster, but I personally don't support dinosaur abuse.
Listen, this dinosaur had it coming. I'm not out here to abuse the animals, but he was asking for it.
At least we don't kill Yoshi in this run.
I mean, you could if you wanted to.
Let's not talk about that.
It's kind of up to the runner. I don't know. We'll have to see what they do.
Nut clip coming up. Nut clip in this category. It's a very infamous trick in like the shorter categories for being like, especially any percent, because it changes the whole route of Wooded. Neo actually messed up the movement after. In pretty much every other category that doesn't do the any percent route for Wooded, it's still faster by, what is it, like 8 seconds or something? Because you can skip the gate handle cutscene.
Yeah, like what you saw Neo pull that lever to open up the gate. Basically, he could have, if he got a good long jump angle off of that little out of bounds ledge, He could have long jumped around a wall and wound up on that platform where that nut moon was, rather than having to open the lever. Yeah, I don't think Bayleef goes for it at all in his runs. Not a optimization that he's elected to implement. And it's also like kind of risky in races because if you do long jump, like Neo was smart pulling back when he did, because if he would have tried to make that work, he probably would have fell back into the deep woods, which would have cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, there's also another strat you can use nut clip for, where instead of skipping gate handle completely, you can just go through the wall and go down to the gate handle, which still saves some time because you don't have to drop down from the front. Barely any, though. Just
Yeah, that
cool.
probably saves a second or less, but not really a time loss to go for, so that's actually personally what I have elected to do in the past. Just get a nice little 1 second time save without any risk attached to it.
Nice Flower Road skip from Neo there. Turn the tower here as Bayleef starts off his Flower Road skip. Pretty much the same stuff as any percent now. Just go through the tower and, well, I would say fight Spewer is the same as any percent, but not anymore. We don't fight that dude. Oh, instant nut from Bayleef. Nice.
Yeah, so he dove in a way that normally you would bonk on the nut and be stuck in the bonk hit stun, but sometimes if you I think it's like if you perform another action like a cap throw, like at the same time you would bonk, it kind of cancels the bonk somehow. So
Right,
pretty
so
nice.
Here we
there.
have the hardest boss in the game.
He's all over the place, man. You can't contain him.
I mean, if you miss the insta-hit somehow, then he does kind of go all over the place, and it's very hard to touch him. Especially on Dark Side. This fight is a disaster if you miss him.
Because it's like you have the timing for the jump ingrained in your head from doing this fight and the one in Luncheon, because you have to do these fights in like almost every category of this game. And then you get to Dark Side and you have moon physics.
Ugh.
And your whole jump timing just has to be completely different. Like you have to jump so much later so that you don't go sailing over. It's a bad time.
I was one of the few poor souls that didn't know about the life up heart in their casual playthrough in Dark Side.
I didn't either. I had no idea. So I think I probably did that with the normal 3 hearts, and you only get 1 health refill in Dark Side, and it's just 1. Like if you're at 1 health, you can go up to 2, and it's only after 4 fights out of the 5. So,
I mean, it's very hard to die to mech in Dark Side.
That's true. It's actually like one of the probably the easiest
fight in the game.
Yeah, like the easiest fight in Dark Side, I would almost say, but at least like to take damage. Like it's not easy, but it's easy to not take damage on. You can just kind of
right here, you'll see them leaving Wooded immediately, and you're probably wondering, why aren't they getting World Peace? They need the achievement. Well, they're gonna do that later, about 2 hours from now.
Yeah, Wooded's the only kingdom that you don't do all the story moves on the first visit. Just it's a little more convenient to do it later because the traveling through the warp paintings on the second visits, the warp painting dumps you out right by the second boss, so you can kind of skip a whole section of climbing without grabbing any moons, which you would otherwise need to do.
Lake Kingdom is sort of the same as any percent. We do the same route, aside from like, if you didn't do Lake Clip, this would be the any percent route.
Yeah, the 80% route for 99% of runners.
Yeah. But you basically just go through, fight Rango, and then get the first moon that you would normally get in any percent, because that's closer to the hint art. So you don't have to just get the hint art and travel back. It's actually more convenient.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in Darker Side and on the first visit to Kingdoms to just kind of set up stuff for later. And those hint arts are part of that. So, and the hint art, a lot of the hint arts only spawn after you like do a boss fight in a kingdom. And that's
Nice
the case here.
Camera from Bayleef. One thing that is kind of weird about that Pillar Moon that Neo just got, you can actually angle your camera during the Moon Get animation, which it's very nice that you can do that to set up for the Cheap jump, but yeah. I just found that kind of weird.
Yeah, there's like only a select few instances like that where you can move the camera while you're grabbing a moon. Like normally your camera's locked when you're in that moon grab animation.
Oh, he didn't do the spin throw. That made me sad.
Oh, the spin throw is a great strat.
You're
You just have
welcome.
to spin throw at like the right time after getting that third hit on Rango, and you can collect all of the coins. But coins aren't really a big necessity in Darker Side. You need
Especially
1,000.
on point two.
Yeah, you need 1,000 over the course of the run, but that's pretty easy to get. I don't waste any time grabbing coins when I do runs, and I usually wind up like 100 or 200 over. So it's pretty easy to get.
The only hint art that is really good for Darker Side is the one in Ruined, right? Since you're not losing any time with it.
The Luigi hint arts, exactly. All the other ones, they only would take like a couple of them would only take like a second or two probably to grab, but with coins not really being tight, there's really no need to do it, to waste those couple seconds.
Right,
I would say only if you're like a beginner runner and you want to make sure you have enough, then you could grab a couple extra Luigi hint arts, but other than that, it's really not necessary.
Yeah. Now that they're done with the Lake and Wooded Fork, they're going to be going to Metro Kingdom, which Metro is a pretty big part of Darker Side. We do a lot of stuff here.
Yeah. So, yeah, because there's like a bunch of seeds you plant in there. There's a tourist you need to get. Like a lot of like weird setup stuff happens in Metro.
What? What's this? Why are we in Cloud?
Oh my god! Don't tell me. Don't tell me it's our arch nemesis.
Why is there a giant ship? Oh my god!
My god! I can't believe it.
How does he do it?
Dude, I gotta say,
Bowser's
how do you feel? How do you feel about the slicked back hair on Bowser?
Oh, it's amazing. Before this game, I thought Galaxy Bowser hair would never be topped, but this
you were
man's
proven
style.
wrong, huh?
It's actually ridiculous how smart Bowser is in this game. Like, he's always one step ahead of Mario. And then combine that with the power of the Brutals doing everything for him, and he's just, like, unstoppable until Moon Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one thing when Bowser, you know, Super Mario 64, Bowser's just taking over the whole castle. You know, at that point, in that situation, you kind of expect him to be one step ahead, but here, they're globetrotting all around the world, and he still manages to stay a step ahead.
Right, so Bayleef actually does a damage boost for both of the hits here. I don't think anybody else does this.
Yeah, very few people go for a damage boost on the second phase that I know of, but it seems to work for him. And Cloud is like one of the few places in the game where taking damage isn't really a bad thing, because you get an automatic health refill after, like, on the transition between Cloud and Lost, so you don't lose any time to like your health regenerating.
We will revisit Cloud and Darker Side one day, trust me.
That will never happen.
I really hope it does. Cloud 2 is, like, low-key one of the best kingdoms in AUM.
Thing about Cloud is, I think it's actually one of the most remote moon rocks to get to in any kingdom, because you have to go across the entire length of Cloud Kingdom, and then the moons you get from it aren't really that fast.
Okay. Kind of scared me. That platform cycle can be kind of all over the place in Lost. So he was kind of readjusting himself. Please don't die. Okay, good.
So he's actually got to die on purpose now.
Aw, rip 10 coins. We never needed them.
Yeah, so the 1,000 coins you need, you don't have to have 1,000 at the same time. You just have to collect 1,000 over the course of the run. So losing 10 coins to a death doesn't affect that, like, 1,000 total. Like, the coins he's collected have already counted towards that 1,000, so he's good to go. And since you don't have to spend all the coins, all the 1,000 coins, taking some death warps in a couple places turns out to be a good idea and faster.
See, Bayleef was being a polite shopper and walking up to the counter, whereas Neo just got up in that toad's face. So rude.
Yeah, you just gotta dive onto the countertop and demand your moon.
I'm gonna do that to the next store I go to. Just jump on the counter.
You know, I don't know that it'd work as well when you're not in the Mario universe, but you let me know how that goes.
Nice job, Neo. Spin pounding into the tree.
Oh, that
kind of hit. Okay.
I was gonna say that almost looked like it wasn't gonna hit the cage.
Just be glad we don't have to do cage triple in this category. Oh my god.
I hate that trick. Ooh, Neo going for the unorthodox wall jump off of the side wall, but I understand why he does that because the trees can kind of have weird
awful hitboxes.
Yeah, like if you slide on the wrong part of this tree that Bayleef just wall jumped off of right now, you won't be able to get a wall jump right away, and it will hurt you, and you'll probably die.
I really like this guy.
Of course, just a little bit.
Is Neo going? Oh, he is. Oh boy.
Oh, he's going for it. He's going all out. I really hope he gets this just so people can see.
Oh jeez.
Oh, he
nice.
That should work.
Yeah, that definitely worked.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes the hat is like barely on glide on and you can still die if you're super low down, but that was awesome. That's a pretty risky strat to go for in a race. Wow. So
Bayleef actually took a lead over Neo, but Neo does have an extra moon, so
yeah,
he's kind of still in the lead, and Bayleef doesn't have that much of a lead now. That really shows how much of a lead Neo had.
Yeah, so if you consider I always say like 20 seconds for moon differences. So with Neo being a moon ahead, you can kind of just add 20 seconds to Bayleef's time, and that's kind of like what the real difference is. But that's at least
now
closer.
We're actually in Metro, but sadly it's nighttime and rainy. Nintendo teases you so much with this kingdom because this is the one that was so hyped up since the game's launch. Like everybody wanted to go here, and then they make you fight Bowser, go through Lost Kingdom, and then when you finally get here, you have to fight a dumb Wiggler.
I don't know. I kind of like having the nighttime portion.
Oh yeah, it's night Metro is really cool. It's just like they know you want to get here, and
it is a big tease, though. Fun. You're right. Yeah.
I feel like that was just completely planned.
Absolutely.
They knew people were gonna like Metro. Which, in a speedrun, I don't like Metro that much.
Yeah, I mean, Metro's cool. Like, there's some cool stuff in it, but there's just so many things that you can run into and accidentally cling on and just bonk.
You could call it New Bonk City.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna let that slide, but you know what you've done.
Back, I remember when bonks were a funny meme in the Odyssey community. So never.
I was gonna say, do you? Because I don't.
When is the bonk counter gonna be on the stream? Alright, so Purvis, you're pretty familiar with having streams without 3 cycles, because you have a counter for that. Do you think either of these players will get one?
I'm gonna say no. They're both well seasoned. The Wiggler would have to give them a really bad pattern, I think, for either one of these guys to 3 cycle.
So, Lil Curbs, the world record holder for any percent, actually released a video about the Mecha Wiggler a couple days ago with some manipulation in quotes that kind of just removes some of his annoying patterns where he goes across the top. I don't think either of them will be doing it. I don't know if they know about it. But basically, you point your camera to like the very top as you're backing away from the Wiggler's last charge. Then you point it towards the center, and that makes the Wiggler always go to like the lower part of the building, and it's so nice, and it cuts out some of its patterns.
Bayleef, not getting a perfect pattern here, but definitely good enough. He gets a pretty clean 2 cycle there. Neo looked like he missed the piece on the head, but
That's very
the
bad.
head and the tail, so he's actually going to get to clean them up in one shot there as the Wiggler, how can I phrase this? I think I'm just going to leave that one be. But yeah, the two pieces sitting right next to each other, how that fight works is any piece you shoot, it'll also like damage the two pieces adjacent to it, so with him kind of curling up to meet the head, he only needed one shot to clean that up, so pretty convenient.
And now that Mecha Wigor is done, we're finally going to be going to Day Metro, which, in my opinion, is the worst part of the entire Darker Side run. Day Metro 1 and Metro 2, for that matter, are both... I just don't like it at all. It's too hard, too much stuff in your way with seeds and everything, and... Ugh. And also sewers.
I actually love the sewers. I don't know why, but...
Well, I do sewer clip, so...
Oh, yeah. No, sewer clip is terrible. I like the actual sewer movement. I'm actually curious. I don't know if Neo will go for sewer clip in
How
Darker
much time
Side.
does it save? Like 7 seconds in this category?
At most.
Because you still have to get the secret moon.
Yeah, exactly. You have to backtrack a little bit. But yeah, sewer clip, it's another roll cancel clip that is easier on 1.0. We definitely won't be seeing Bayleef go for it. I know he never goes for it in his runs. I don't think any 1.2 runner really does. But Neo might... I don't know if he feels comfortable enough to go for it in a race, but he did pull off the twist and turn capture warp, so... I don't know. Maybe he's feeling a little confident, wants to go for all the cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, even if sewer clip is easier on 1.0, it's still the hardest clip in the game, in my opinion.
It's one of them, for sure.
All pipe clips in this game are just weird. You have to be on such a specific spot. And you can even actually... I've only done this in the Rumble Room in Sand, but in those rooms where you're like in a tight space and you have to ground pound somewhere, you can actually clip out of them using pipes.
Like out of the front wall?
Yeah, you can just
wow.
do a pipe clip in those rooms and you just die.
Interesting.
I don't know if you can do it in the Seaside one, but I've done it in Sand before. Alright, so both players doing the same musician's route. I personally do the trumpeter first, since that movement is harder than
Yeah, I think
all the
he
other
might
ones.
be the only one who does that. Technically, you can do these musicians in any order you choose, other than I think the drummer being first is like the clear optimal choice, but the other three you can do in any order. Most people tend to just do them in the same order because that's how the route document is laid out, so people just follow that and always do it that way.
Well, I'm special.
You are, hey, you are special. Don't you ever forget it on me.
Dark Side World Record Holder, best category.
Hey, this is like a Dark Side World Record Holders Club right here. You know,
Yeah,
I used to have that record back in the day. Bayleef used to have that record. Neo used to have that record. That one's been passed around quite a bit.
And this is why I do trumpet first. That is why.
Yeah. So he missed his like jump off the railing there, so he's gonna have to back it up. Thankfully, this isn't really that slow of a backup. Maybe loses like 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, this is... Now that I actually don't do it, like I just thought of it in my head as Neo was going to that building. You could probably go to the bassist. That would probably be really slow, but you could like back up falling there to go to the bassist.
I don't think that would be any better.
Yeah.
Just because after you get the basis, you're still like in that same area.
Yeah, you have to warp again.
Back it up. So yeah, Bayleef, you see the sewer movement pretty clean. Hopefully I didn't just jinx him. He still has one more little gap to get across, but pretty good movement there.
Alright, let's go,
okay.
Neo.
Yeah, Neo's not going to go for the clip. Yeah, I kind of expected that. That clip is just really finicky, and even on 1.0, it's like really not worth it in Darker Side for the most part.
So, one thing I guess we didn't actually mention this yet. Last week these two were supposed to race, but I think Bayleef kind of overslept, and was also sick that day, so he took a forfeit. So this is actually their second race together, because Neo came from losers, so he actually reset the bracket, so they had to race again.
Yeah, so this will kind of be the winner-take-all match right here.
Having a bracket reset was definitely not the best idea for this tournament. Having a loser's bracket was not the best idea for this tournament. Alright, now we get to go to, in a speed run, not the best moment in the game. Casually, probably the best part of the entire game.
Yeah, he's, I don't like 2D sections in this game. They've made so many good 2D Mario games in the past that it blows my mind how bad the 2D controls feel in this game.
It's probably because you're using a control stick, and you're also always Big Mario.
I mean, it's not even the control stick, I don't think. Like,
have you tried playing Mario 1 on Switch? It's awful.
No, I haven't. But I did, however, play a lot of Mario Maker using a control stick.
Yeah, Mario Maker.
And
Mario Maker 2, June.
That game, yeah, I'm actually excited for that, because Mario Maker uses the new Super Mario Bros. Physics, and those feel really smooth and fluid, whereas Mario Odyssey 2D sections feel like crap.
Somebody's going to make a festival in Mario Maker. I just know it's going to happen.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're right, though. That'll be like... I wouldn't be surprised if they had, like, a template level that was, like, similar to the festival.
Yeah, because I don't think DK barrels are in the game, so I don't think you can completely remake it, but...
I mean, maybe they will be. Who knows?
They have slopes, so...
Exactly.
Finally have slopes.
I mean, they push Mario Odyssey a lot, so they might have some DK barrels as a reference to the best Mario
DK
game.
barrels is a reference to Odyssey, definitely not another game.
Well, you know what I mean.
3D Mario Maker will happen in like 2035 probably. It will be the greatest game ever created.
I think that's a little too out there for Nintendo, but who knows? Maybe they'll make something work.
If it does happen, that will go down in history for gaming.
I'd pop off. That'd be amazing.
I mean, Odyssey is kind of getting in that direction with hacking, with Superstar mode made by Skelix. But hacking isn't exactly like in prime form like it is for SM64. You can make custom levels, and Skelix made an entire ROM hack, but it's still in kind of the early stage.
For sure. It'll be cool to see if it can get to the prevalence of SM64 ROM hacks. It'd be pretty cool to see what people can come up with.
Now, let's see if Neo is going for my favorite trick in the game.
Oh, jeez. Are we talking about a capture warp?
Yep.
The most useless capture warp. Oh my god, he's not going for it. He finally listened to me. I've been telling him it's slower for months. I think he finally came around. So for a while, Neo would throw his cap before talking to the tourist there. And then after talking, he would home his cap in on the wire. But like the setup time it takes is just ridiculous. So it doesn't even save any time.
Alright, so Snow Kingdom, another breaking point in this race. This could give Neo his lead back.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious to see, there was a recent route change. I wonder if one or both of these guys will go for it. But basically the Goomba room in the town of Shiveria, we realized it's pretty slow.
Oh, finally!
So it's actually not in the optimal route anymore. So I would imagine Neo's probably going to do the new route, because he's kind of the mastermind behind that route change and most of the route changes for this category. But I'm not sure if Bayleef is entirely up to speed with it, so he might do what he's familiar with.
What do we replace Goomba Room with? I actually just heard about this.
So there are some moons in Bowser's Kingdom that are pretty fast.
Oh. Curious to see If Neo does it, I'm curious to see what he
Yeah.
replaces it with.
I hope he goes for it just to show off some new stuff, but I know he was having a little bit trouble with the Bowser Kingdom replacements as well, so you might elect to...
What are the replacement moons?
Well, there's actually 4 that you could use, and like they're 4 that are all fast enough for the route.
Please tell me it's Hexagon Tower.
No, it's
Aw.
the treasure vault. And then you can go from the treasure vault to capture a zip line and get a moon like behind bars.
Oh yeah. I know what you're
And
talking
then
about.
there's also the small bird, which is like
Jesus.
by the Odyssey.
Worst bird in the game.
And then you can take the pipe that takes you up to the top of Bowser's Kingdom from the bird and like drop down to grab a moon.
Is he going? I think he's doing it.
Well, Bayleef is doing the Goomba room, so he's definitely doing the old route, sticking with what's familiar. But yeah, Neo coming up here right away is a sign, I believe, that he's gonna do the new stuff.
I'm assuming early shop is part of the route as well. The route change.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh Jesus, we got 2 snow clips going.
Yeah, because taking the 2 moons out of that Goomba room means you have to collect 2 more to leave Snow Kingdom. So the shop is 1, and then the fishing moon after getting peace here is the other. And Neo's on 1.0. This clip is easier for Neo, but it's still a little tricky sometimes.
Oh my god.
And Neo finally gets it. I know this clip is kind of Bayleef's demon in this run. Hopefully he gets it soon here, but I think probably one of his bigger reset points when he's doing PB attempts.
Honestly, that footage of them doing the clips in sync is basically like Darker Side in a nutshell.
Yeah. I remember when the 1.2 update came out, I tried to do a Darker Side run. Bayleef finally gets through. I tried to do a Darker Side run kind of just blindly with the new clips.
I think that was your first stream I ever watched.
Yeah, well, I sat in front of that wall trying to clip down for 15 minutes, and then I just gave up and went back to the lab and tried to figure out how to actually get through the wall consistently. And my solution was clipping in a different spot,
which I still do to this day. Into your stream and seeing that, like, hey, this guy might be a Darker Side runner, and then I see you clipping, and I think I left like 10 minutes later.
Yeah, that's that was not a fun day, I'll tell you that much, but thankfully that was day 1 of 1.2, so we figured out how to make stuff a little more consistent since then. But yeah, kind of another disparity in, like, not moon counts, but which moons they're collecting. Because, like, Neo is further along in this Bound Bowl race, but he has another, like, an extra moon to collect after the race compared to Bayleef. But he definitely did have a much faster clip, so he is going to save some time on Bayleef there.
Now, one thing I really like about Bound Bowl is this has always just like been a really cool thing for me with in-game timer things. You can actually see how much time somebody saves over the other person because of the in-game timer.
Yeah,
I don't know why I find that so cool, but it just
I like it as well. And I expect Bayleef to save time over Neo here.
Oh yeah.
Bayleef is kind of the king of the Bound Bowl. He gets a lot of 52s and even 51s, and I'm not sure Neo got a 54. So 54 is pretty good, but Bayleef is just on another level with Bound Bowl, so I expect him to save a couple seconds here.
AUM having to do it 4 times.
Yeah.
Bound Bowl secret, we don't talk about that. That's the worst race in the whole game. 51, Jesus.
No, the worst race in the whole game is the Moon Koopa free running.
Close.
I just really hate the moon physics in this game.
Oh wow, Ducky-chan guessed Bayleef's guess right. I wonder how. It's not like he went into the stream. Somebody's getting a gift sub.
So yeah, you're going to see a different order of moons here. Neo's going to get this timer challenge first, and then he's going to go over and grab a rabbit, and then he'll get a fishing moon, whereas Bayleef will go straight to the rabbit, and then back to the timer challenge, and then up to the Odyssey.
Interesting from Neo there. I usually just ditch the timer and wait for the hat to come back.
Yeah, I do as well, when I'm doing that moon order for, like, World Peace.
Bayleef's actually doing the... Oh, wait. Oh, this is new to me. I really haven't done Darker Side in a while.
Well, this is actually a really recent change to the route within like the last week. So, yeah, Neil will grab this fishing moon now just to get that 10th moon to be able to leave the kingdom. Whereas normally we would get that moon on the second visit to Snow Kingdom.
Next thing you know, he's gonna pull out the World Peace strats and do Snowdram. Okay, never mind.
I mean, he jokingly suggested that when we were trying to figure out how to reroute this to make it work.
Oh my god, this is so close.
But yeah, so yeah, once again, Neo is still a moon ahead. So he's like a second or two behind Bayleef visually. So he's probably something like 20 seconds ahead in reality.
Now we got Seaside. Okay, so this is one thing I am very curious about. Does the new clip play any part in Darker Side?
Yes.
Oh, sick. I can't wait to see that.
It's pretty much the exact same thing that you see in any percent.
Okay. Is it post-game or first visit? I'm assuming it's post-game.
It is post-game, yeah.
So basically, what we're talking about is there was a new clip found that saves about 5 seconds in any percent if you do it really, really well. What you do is, it's kind of like turnip clip in a way, where, like in turnip clip, you drop the hammer bro and then you recapture him and go into the cage. You do that, but with a cheap instead. Neo just pulled ahead because Bayleef bonked, by the way. But yeah, basically with that clip, you drop a fish off at the very edge of the kingdom, and then you recapture him and you'll just clip through the ground. And that allows us to go into the Sphinx treasure vault, without having to actually talk to the Sphinx, which saves a lot of time. Always doing late notes.
Yeah, so Neo with a little time save here. He left the moon sitting there. He's going to go up and get these first two seals. And then when he drops back down from the lighthouse, he'll just grab that moon on his way to capture another Gushin.
I think Bayleef's Gushin fell.
Yeah, it almost looks like it. He exited the capture really early, so you might have to drop back down to the water to get another one.
Gushins are very weird in World Peace, because if you put them too close to the moon, or if you're too fast to grab the moon, the Gushin just completely disappears. It's so weird.
Gushins can also do a weird thing where you saw Bayleef there, it kind of jumped up as he was trying to capture it. If you don't have your camera pointed close enough to it, it can kind of stay in limbo floating in the air because this game likes to basically deload things that aren't on screen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not looking at it, like if you're looking down at the ground, the Gushin will just stay up in the air. So you see Neo now just dropping down to grab that moon as he has to kind of come back that way to get another Gushin anyways. It's a few seconds faster.
I wonder if Rocket Flower Refresh would be useful for that. Probably not, because you have to get a Gushin anyway.
Because you can go to the Gushin after throwing your hat at the last notes and capture it basically as the Rocket Flower is running out.
Well, the less rocket refreshes, the better. That's why the clip is one of the best things to ever happen to this game, because it completely cut out the Rocket Flower Moon from any percent.
Yeah, it kind of, like, you would think, like, having an out-of-bounds clip would make the route harder, but it actually made the Seaside route kind of brain dead. It's pretty nice.
It's something that, like, beginners could put into their runs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it works on 1.2 as well.
It's like... Yeah, it's no different depending on version, but it's almost like one of those party tricks that you like, one of those glitches that you can learn really easily within a few minutes just to like impress your friends. So yeah, I'd say even for beginners, it's a good thing to learn.
And now we wait for somebody to do it in real life.
Oh jeez.
Ride a fish through the ground in the ocean.
And I'd like to see that.
Mario Odyssey tricks in real life would be very interesting, especially slamming your head into a wall for 15 minutes.
That sounds like a couple million view YouTube video right there.
Yeah. Here's some fire. I mean, what? Alright, so they're gonna kind of manipulate this Gushin throughout the rest of Seaside, because every time you get a moon with the Gushin, he refills his water, so they're gonna spawn moons and capture the Gushin each time to refill the water again, so you don't have to fall into the water. Nice instant drop from Neo. And Bayleef. Good strat.
Yeah. These guys have done that hundreds of times, so they know exactly where to exit the capture and just ground pound straight down into the moon. So
Still don't know if it's faster to ground pound jump from the hot spring moon or to just swim up.
yeah, I'm not too sure. I've never really tested that myself. But we've now got the best boss fight in the game, if you ask me.
Stop.
I'm not even joking. I love this fight.
I don't. I am the opposite of love this fight.
This fight used to make me really mad, but now that I know, like, what? Okay, I'm not trying to shade you here on me, but when you know what you're doing, it's actually like pretty easy and kind of fun. I don't know.
This is I definitely don't hate this fight as much as I used to when I actively ran World Peace. Like, this fight made me want to like throw my controller when I ran that category. It doesn't want to anymore, but it still makes me a bit upset.
The only fight that makes me really angry is Cockatiel.
Cockatiel is also terrible.
Because that one legitimately stuff happens that is just like almost out of your control.
Hey Curvis, I heard you like that face that the guy makes.
Just a little bit.
Still waiting on Twitch to approve that.
Nope, it's approved.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's in the chat. Okay.
As
and
of
it's not
earlier
tier 2
today.
anymore, right?
Correct. Nice.
Sick.
Tier 1 emote.
Flexing your 15 sub points on me. Wow.
Hey, you brought it up.
True. Actually, Schultzar brought it up. Oh wait, never mind. I know what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about bringing the sub count up.
No. I mean, I guess that too. Yeah, we're gonna move on to Luncheon Kingdom, and Neo still has his. He pulled ahead like visually in that kingdom, and he still has his 1 moon lead as well. So maybe looking at closer to a 30-second lead, 25 to 30 seconds, somewhere in there for Neo right now.
Now we got Luncheon, another kingdom that I don't like.
Yeah, Luncheon in general is just like all the salt piles and the weird, ginormous vegetable surfaces. I don't know. They're not a great time.
Yeah, all the piles of Odd Me in this kingdom are very bad. It's probably the worst joke I've made all stream. Aside from the New Bonk City one.
I was gonna say the New Bonk City is the worst joke you've made all stream.
Yeah, the concept of this kingdom is really cool with all the food, but it was just, in my opinion, executed really poorly.
Yeah, I always say that it's a much better kingdom conceptually and visually than it is in practice.
And then to top it all off, it has the worst boss in the game.
Yeah, not this boss, but the actual boss of the kingdom.
Great. And the battle in Luncheon is way different because the platform is rectangular this time. Well, veteran joke from the Speed Gaming Any Percent tournament. Rip Okra and Nerf. Best commentary duo.
So another small change that I think Neo is probably going to do is skip this sub-area moon that you probably have seen in the past in Darker Side. Still get it, but at a different time.
What? This is so weird.
I'm
trying to think of when you would get this. After the bunny or something?
No, you would get this on second visit after the music toad.
Oh,
So yeah, he's gonna
so
skip it.
third visit, you mean?
Yeah, third visit. True.
Luncheon 3 is the greatest thing to ever happen to Darker Side.
Agreed.
Just big brain. I think
Well,
Neo.
other than frog skip getting patched.
Shut up. That gave me sub 320 because I'm terrible. So I can't get it without.
I mean, you can. You just choose not to.
I love Dark Side too much.
Actually, did Bayleef skip that moon as well?
He got Timer, Spewart, and no, I think he got it because Timer and Spewart are the first 2 moons.
Oh, does he have 3 moons? Okay, yeah, he does. Never mind.
So unlike any percent where we do a lot of stuff before the big meat slab, we get to it very quick with very few moons, just because I think in this we get the required amount of moons to leave, just 18.
Yeah, we get exactly enough in this kingdom.
Which is nice, because then you'll know if you missed a moon.
Yep. And which means since Neo skipped out on that sub-area moon, he's gonna have to replace it with another one. Which is gonna be coming up after he collects the first multi-moon.
Nice. I remember when this room was like the war between Lava Bubble and Forks in any percent.
Yeah, that's like the old-fashioned...
Really big debate, and then we found out Forks saved like 2 seconds.
Yeah, pretty significant at this point. I remember I was a Lava Bubble room boy for a while.
And now we have Topper versus Harriet first. Which Topper first?
Yes, Topper first gang.
Good thing Neo likes both of them.
I actually don't know which side Bayleef is on. If he's a Topper, Harriet first squad member.
I think all the Darker Side top runners are Topper, except for... Does Neo do Harriet?
I think Neo does Topper.
I wouldn't be surprised if he like...
Actually, I don't know, actually. I don't remember. But we'll find out in one kingdom, or 2 kingdoms.
It'd be funny if Neo like interchanged the 2 every single run.
That would not be funny. That would just be cruel.
I mean, he likes both of them.
So, Neo's going to drop down to a different moon here for the first visit. That we, on the old route, would get on the 3rd visit. So
I thought this was the Moon Rock moon. What?
No, this isn't Moon Rock. That's pretty much available immediately. After you get that story moon, it's available right away.
Yeah, I don't run all moons, no post game, so what do I know? Ooh, nice movement. So my roll cancel movement from the Torch Island was for nothing, okay. Sad.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's okay, though. It's all part of the process.
It wasn't viable in runs anyway, because you hardly ever get up there. Very nice movement to the overlooking moon.
So yeah, now that the moon count has evened out again for Luncheon Kingdom, the visual lead is back closer to what the actual lead is. So Neo is still a moon ahead overall compared to Bayleef, but as far as the Luncheon Kingdom moons go, they're back to even.
Lava Cave is another pretty cool little area, but it's
I hate this room.
Pretty hard to execute.
I hate this room with a passion, dude. So much goes wrong here, and when one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Because of course Nintendo decided, let's not put these on a, like, if they're on camera they move cycle. Let's make them global.
Yeah.
Alright, so now Neo's going to let this Piranha Plant... Never mind, he's going to capture it, okay.
Yeah, it's actually optimal to capture this, because doing this means he doesn't have to go out of his way for a different capture later on.
Does he still get the big jump? I'm assuming he knows.
He doesn't have to because of that. Technically, like, just raw timing, capturing that piranha is like a second slower. But with being able to skip another capture, which would take like 2 seconds, it's overall faster for Darker Side to capture it.
Both runners putting the Koopa free runners to shame there.
Something like that.
Alright, now we got everyone's favorite. The bird from Captain Toad. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, exactly. I wish that this bird would just go to Captain Toad and stay there.
I mean, he is in Treasure Tracker for Switch. In a little bonus level.
Yeah, and it can stay there. Leave my game forever. Just give us like another free multi-moon sitting in the pot of stew.
Yeah, the first time I played this game, I was so confused when I found that multi-moon. I was just like, wait, hold on.
Dude,
This
I
is
was
like-
too busy. I was too busy popping off at the giant corn cob to worry about why a multi-moon was just chilling there. And Bayleef is getting really unfortunate
God.
like luck there with the hitbox of Cockatiel. He took quite a few extra jumps to get that last hit in, and that is why Cockatiel sucks. Because if you can kind of get stun locked like that, where you're in like a really weird in-between spot where your jumps don't go high enough.
Now that Luncheon is finally done, they'll be leaving because they don't really have anything else to do here yet. Luncheon 2 and 3 are definitely better than Luncheon 1, for sure. Because they don't have Cockatiel, it's just all movement.
Yeah,
Without having to worry about story stuff.
yeah. Cockatiel just like brings down my mood, man. So anytime you come back here and you
can go
don't,
beat the game now because he's got 124.
that's true. Yeah.
Haha, Bowser's Kingdom joke.
Ha ha ha.
We did this already. Can't do it again.
I mean, we could.
Everyone knows where to go into Dark Souls, though.
No, this is the. Everyone calls it the Dark Souls dragon, but I like to call it the dragon from Shrek. That's what this dragon
Okay,
reminds me of.
have it your way.
I'm just saying, that's what the dragon reminds me of. Looks a lot like the dragon from Shrek.
Okay, neither of them are doing... Okay, good. Bayleef's doing a spin pound. That makes me happy.
You're a girl dragon.
I think it's Spyro, but...
Yeah. Definitely looks exactly like Spyro.
He's mad that Reignited Trilogy is not on Switch, so...
Oh, Neo going for the hint art and then realizing that he doesn't have it because he's on the inferior version.
Yeah, it's Spyro in his grown-up years.
So yeah, Bayleef there just ground pounding that Captain Toad, that 8-bit Captain Toad, giving him 200 coins.
And we also get to do a little dance with him.
Exactly.
So
The time
Nintendo
saves
has
between-
released every single hint art, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. As far as we know.
And Odyssey 2 is gonna have even more and cause even...
I hope so. Yeah, just to reiterate, there are version differences between 1.0 and 1.2, but they actually wind up evening out pretty nicely, so it's not a big deal that these runners are playing on 2 different versions. They're on a pretty even playing field anyways.
It will be interesting to see what happens to this game if Odyssey 2 is like announced at E3 or something. And maybe
It'd be great.
people will like... It'll be like the Galaxies where people run both games.
I'm sure there'd be a ton of overlap.
But Odyssey 2 will definitely get more attention.
At first, for sure.
But this game has just come such a long way. Like, we're not even close to done with optimizing this game.
No. It's
like,
one of the biggest
we haven't even
communities out there.
Sub-Hour yet, so there's still much more to explore. Because after Sub-Hour, any percent's gonna probably die off for a few months.
I think you'd be surprised. I don't think it'll die off as much as some people expect it to. I think a lot of the any percent runners are pretty dedicated to that category for the most part. So they might take a couple weeks of a break, but I still expect them to grind it down.
And we had a little fortunate time during the World Peace Tournament by GSA where all the 90% people just like stopped dead in their tracks to grind World Peace, and that got brought down from a 117.29 to a 115.55, and now it's a 115.32 months after that. And also now people are running Dark Side, trying to kill that category forever. And then after that, we'll probably see some Darker Side stuff heat up even more.
A man can dream.
It is kind of weird that there's been a lot of Dark Side activity lately. Like,
yeah, it's very uncharacteristic.
Aside from me getting the record today, there's been like this giant chain of people who get the record and then just quit.
Yep.
It's just been a record by one person, and it started with Bayleef, I believe.
No, it started before Bayleef.
Bayleef got it, and then you got it, and then I did, and then Tim, and then Justin, and then Neo, and then I got it again. And then maybe Dangerous will get it next. Okay, first story moon out of the way. Bowser's Kingdom is, in this category, probably one of my favorites in like the any percent part, just because like it's really difficult and long because of all the story stuff, but all the movement just adds up so perfectly in the story sections, especially with shards. Shards is really cool.
Yeah, this section they're both coming up on right now.
Anyone dive back? Alright, Neo's going for it. Dive back is definitely much easier with a long jump, as many of us found out. It's still more optimal to do with a triple jump, but it's much harder. Very late bomb poke from Neo there.
Yeah, he missed a cycle to hit those second grouping of boxes.
Bring this moon back in any percent. Please.
I'm not a fan.
I think Grand Pooh Bear still has those emotes.
I mean, they're good emotes. That's for sure.
They're not as good as Kirby's Scree, though.
Well,
That's
not many things can live up to that, so we try not to judge.
Alright, 2 story moons down, and then 1 more to go, and then... Sounded so unenthusiastic when I said that, but that's because I am about mech. Not a fun fight if you mess it up.
A very fun fight if you do it perfectly, though.
Oh yeah, it's...
One of the
like,
flashiest. Oh, Neo. Looks like he was almost gonna take a bonk there, which would mean death.
that...
And in Bowser's Kingdom, when you fall and die, you fall for like 18 years.
Yeah. You fall until you get kicked out of your house, basically.
Yeah.
So Bayleef actually doing... Oh wait, never mind. I thought Neo wasn't doing this first. Forgot this was actually faster. Oh, there you go.
These Chizos are really annoying sometimes. They kind of hop around in whatever direction they feel like. One of the worst captures in the game, in my opinion.
So, just to clear things up, these are a reference to the Tanuki statue, right? In 3 and 3D Land.
I have no idea.
90% sure they are.
I've never played 3D Land.
Because they have the scarf.
They might be.
They hold their hand up. Oh no, Bayleef.
Oh, Bayleef, why?
This is not good. Okay,
See,
good.
that's what he deserves for doing.
This is what you
Harriet
get for
first.
doing Harriet first.
Yes. Oh, he's seeing the
He's
rare
seeing Big
purple
Bomb.
bomb phase. See, kids, this is what happens when you go Harriet first. Learn from Bayleef's mistakes.
Gotta plug those Necro emotes in chat. Oh my god, no. Bayleef. Alright. Oh my, no! This is not going well for Bayleef at all. And he still has to do topper. Might be seeing a topper first from Bayleef after. Oh, an instant kill. Let's go.
I'm just gonna guess that that was not an optimal Harriet fight.
No, it wasn't.
So yeah, Bayleef gonna be approximately one topper fight behind here. Hopefully he has a clean second fight here as to not rack up an even bigger deficit.
And just like Spewart and Rango for that matter, topper is a bad word in Darkside. The only
Yes.
bunny in Darkside that isn't awful is Harriet, pretty much.
I actually think Rango is the easiest one.
I think he's the hardest.
Really? I don't know.
Because
Once you get the first hit, he's just kind of in a stun lock. Like you can just space everything out to keep hitting him without ever
Yeah,
touching the ground.
But if you mess up, he starts bouncing around in moon physics.
Oh well, that's true. Yeah.
Just don't mess up.
Exactly.
Gonna let this ogre break this block here. Don't think there's a way to clip into that, unfortunately. Talk to our friend here once again, Captain Toad. Very underrated video game, by the way. Everyone should play it. Bayleef's playing it a bit safer here.
Yeah,
that
don't
camera
blame him.
can't screw you. Ooh, nice. Yeah, if you capture something from the back, like Neo did, you actually instantly capture it. Because Cappy still has to come back to you. Very interesting. Wait, did Neo not get Goomba Stack here?
He did not.
That's I thought that was the usual replacement for First Moon.
It's definitely one that you could use.
Probably doing like Metro Shop or something.
Yeah.
Oh, nice from Bayleef, bonking on the ceiling of that ogre to land faster. Alright. Actually, not yet. We still have one more move.
Yep, gotta boop the snoot.
I know exactly what just happened on Bayleef's screen. His Pokio would not move. Like, sometimes Pokio just doesn't want to move for whatever reason. I have no idea how it works. And that's why he fell all the way down and had to re-grab the wall.
Oh, that's true. The reroute to get the Sphinx. Oh, Neo's gonna fall off. He can clean this up and not lose too much time. If oh no, this is going poorly.
Could be a chance for Bayleef.
He has to like walk back to the front there to get the Robobrood to turn back around. Otherwise,
oh no.
Yeah, this is not going well.
No. He has to get this now, or else Bayleef takes the lead.
He's almost not walking back far enough because this wall.
He has to walk off the front. Oh,
he's gonna get thrown off. Yeah,
back.
he can still climb back on top at least and get this hit.
Okay. There we go.
Remember, he is still ahead of Moon, but visually it's like
This
basically
is very bad for him. Oh jeez.
Yeah, this is a very sketchy.
This is why Mech can be one of the best or one of the worst fights in the game. This is gonna be sketchy as well. Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like Bayleef taking the visual lead again, making up a lot of time there.
he fell there, that would have been... Oh my god. Neo is going for Harry at third, so this is even scarier, considering he already fell. Target acquired. We're fine.
Well done. So, a clean finish to the fight, at least, and he will still maintain a lead, but he was sitting pretty good there after Bayleef's mishaps on the Harriet fight, but pretty much gives all that time back on the Robo Brood.
This is actually a very close race this far in.
Yeah.
A darker side run. Usually these races are kind of blowouts.
Yeah, I mean, the leaderboard kind of has a lot of big gaps in times between placings, but these two are like actually two of the closest, and they just happen to be at the very top.
Until you show up and get like a 313, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, what just happened to Bayleef there? I don't understand how that works. You barely turn your control stick and Mario still spins. It makes no sense.
Yeah. It's like the game over buffers when you don't even want it to, but then when you do try to buffer, it doesn't work.
So, fun fact, I think this is actually the longest amount of downtime you get in this game. It's 30 seconds. Not counting Ruined, which isn't really downtime, but... Okay, so now that they are done with everything except Moon, they have nowhere to go but the Moon, and we are actually going to be getting some moons on the Moon. Fun fact, we get moons on the Moon. We actually get 10 moons on the Moon, I believe. I don't think there's really any big mistakes that can be made in Moon Kingdom, aside from maybe, like, dying at the beginning or missing the bunny. But who knows, honestly. Also, spin pounds on Moon are bad. So they want to veer as far left as they can to make this bunny bounce to the right, because it's much easier to catch him if he goes that direction. Bayleef's hat went away for a second. Nice. Nice catch from Neo, saving a bit of time. Whoa, Bayleef getting a lot of speed in there, dang.
Yeah, if you get a nice roll boost off of the right part of that ledge, then you can like carry it into that rock grab. Neo kind of got it too. Not quite as fast, but pretty much works out the same.
So the reason they slowed down there is because Mario's not completely in front of the rock once you walk into it with all that speed. So you'll actually just end up hitting the rock and you won't get the moon from it. So they have to make sure Mario's touching the ground.
So it looks like Bayleef did get the double rocket flower there. Yeah, so he's going to get to carry that fire flower momentum all the way to the Sphinx. And
I only take one there,
well.
and then just roll to the 2 that you get in any percent.
Yeah, it's a little slower, but not by more than a couple seconds.
I always thought there's... Oh, missing moon skip.
Looked like he was a little too far left.
So, according to the legend himself, Monkey King Hero, this is a frame-perfect trick. So, as you can see, they're both missing it. Bayleef gets the second try, though.
And that should be good for Neo as well.
Yeah, that's a frame-perfect trick, so good on them for both getting it. One thing that a lot of people kind of overlook, if you do a cap return jump, you actually don't have moon physics.
Yeah, it's like one of the weird things. Actually used it to your advantage right there. Bayleef going up the side to get into the church.
Here's a moon probably most people didn't know about, if they only ran any percent.
Yep, just kind of sitting there at all times. Don't notice unless you look up.
You can get it from the bottom, but it's really hard if you don't know what to do.
Yeah, you have to like get on a little ledge on the side of the wall.
Alright, now we got our second Bowser fight. It's literally the exact same thing, except more hats, and he breathes fire. With the smallest hitbox in any video game. Bayleef doing his damage boost for the second hit again. I don't even know how he is able to grab that cap without a backflip. I've never done that before.
Yeah, that's something I've only really seen him do. I think it actually is probably a little better optimally because he's lower to the ground, so he's able to start punching faster.
Yeah, unlike the Cloud Kingdom fight where they have to get behind Bowser to launch him farther away, they can just punch him from the front because he always jumps to the center. So you would actually lose time if you did the same thing he did in Cloud. Oh, that's why I do a backflip.
Yeah. Definitely seems like the timing is a little tighter. But he gets it there.
Wow, cool. And Neo's a little bit ahead. This is gonna be interesting. Bayleef actually might pull ahead here because of loads. Or not, okay. Both going into the escape at the same exact time. If this were 90%, this would be crazy.
If they have optimal escapes here, they'll come out of like the quote-unquote any percent portion of the run with like a 128, which is pretty good. Probably not up to their standards, but for a race, that's a pretty good time. Especially considering they both lost like a really big chunk of time on a boss fight in Bowser's Kingdom alone. So other than like one mistake in Bowser's, they're having pretty good runs so far.
My eyes are just like swapping back and forth between the two screens, seeing who saves time. 2D skip could change everything though. Oh, Neo, that was really close.
It's like, it wasn't as close as it looked though, because you can like kind of cling on to the edge there.
Yeah. Luckily with 2D sprinting, which was found like quite a while ago, if you don't get the ledge, you can actually like just hold back and land on the platform, which you could do that if you didn't sprint because you're too slow. Bayleef's actually ahead.
Yeah, very slightly. You could easily lose a couple seconds in the Pillar's Room, or like 3 to 5 seconds in the Pillar's Room. That's something I see happen a lot. So if like one of them gets early Pillar and the other doesn't, which it looks like Bayleef got it.
Just give Miles Pro the controller. So depending on how fast Bayleef finishes up pillars, Neo could actually like not lose too much time here, but looks like he's doing just fine.
Yeah, it can be a little awkward.
This is what missing an early pillar does, lose you about like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was kind of a live comparison of how much early pillar saves. It's kind of interesting. So about a 128.13 for Bayleef, about a 128.16 for Neo. So 3 second or so deficit, plus the 1 moon lead for Neo. So somewhere 20 to 25 second, or probably somewhere like a 15 to 20 second lead for Neo overall, coming out of the 90% portion. And this is where it gets spicy.
Yeah.
Post-game, in my opinion, is much more difficult. It's a lot faster paced, a lot more moves you need to get, a lot more opportunities to mess up. So I always say this is where the run really starts.
This is always like the most awkward part of the run in like marathon settings or race settings, because you're just watching like black screens.
Yeah. You unfortunately have to, even though you can skip the cutscenes, you still have to sit through like all these cinematics getting to Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, HDQ, when I was watching the run, I was like, what's the credits gonna be like? That just seems kind of awkward. Just kind of sitting there. I can only imagine a game where you have to watch the credits being at JDQ. Oh god.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Here's some
Thankfully, there's like
formation.
plenty to talk about with this game, especially with this category. Bayleef failing to pick up the seed there. Seed movement is terrible in this
Yeah,
game.
it's especially this one because you're constantly going uphill. I
Yeah,
am very bad at planting the seeds here.
like there's no way to like maintain good momentum going uphill with a seed. It's just impossible. So it always looks awkward.
All right, well, Neo
No
just
matter
gave me a
what.
good tutorial on how to plant the mushroom seeds, so... Oh. Mistakes in mushroom are always, like, the worst, because everything's so quiet. You just have to hear the bonking sound.
So thankfully, both runners appear to be doing the same mushroom route. There's kind of two different ways you can approach mushroom for the first and second visits. But it looks like they're doing the same thing, so we won't have any kind of like crazy visual disparity between the routes.
Yeah, didn't you do, early mushroom stuff in your race with Neo? And it was
Yeah,
really hard to tell.
yeah, I do the other way. I think I'm one of the only ones who does it, but you wind up coming out of the first visit with like, I think three extra moons coming out of mushroom, so it can make it look like you're further behind or whatever than you really are. Yeah, it's the same moons. It's just you get different ones on different visits depending on which way you pick.
Neo hitting that radio and getting the purple lanes. 100% God. Nice
Oh,
pause, Neo.
early cutscene skip. I mean, these like load times are actually variable, so sometimes
Yeah,
you pause to skip the cutscene when you expect it to happen, and if it takes a little longer than usual, you just wind up getting an empty pause that wastes
so
time.
one thing I've always wondered, is Snow the smallest kingdom in the game? Because the load times here are so quick. Even on physical. Like, it loads so fast compared to everywhere else. Like,
Yeah,
this
I
has to
mean,
be the smallest kingdom for that to be possible.
it's kind of like compartmentalized. So like the outside, it's like not that big, but then you have the inside section, which also isn't that big, and then all like the individual tunnels. So I guess it's just like broken up more than the other kingdoms.
Yeah, right here, as you saw them go through that painting, this starts the high. This is why like most people really like Darker Side, is because of the painting chain, where you keep all of your moons that you have stored in your little inventory, and you just go through all of these paintings, and you dump them all in the Odyssey at the very end, and it's probably the best part about Darker Side.
Yeah, so open these moon rocks. These appear in every kingdom after you beat the main portion of the game, which these guys just did, and they're able to be opened. Well, they're in the kingdoms from the beginning of the game, but you're able to open them at this point, basically.
Yeah.
And they spawn a bunch of moons.
You also have to get World Peace.
Okay, so right here, Neo's gonna kind of take a temporary lead because he's not gonna have to do this fishing moon. So he's gonna get to roll straight back over this way. And then he's also going to get to skip out on the shopping moon because he did both of those in the first visit. But then once he gets to Bowser's Kingdom, he's going to have to get 2 more moons that Bayleef isn't going to get. So it'll balance itself out in a few kingdoms from now. But for now, it's going to look like Neo has a much bigger lead than he does.
And here, Neo is actually using the most necessary capture in the whole game, a separate Cheep Cheep just for Snow.
Yeah, in the capture list, the Snow Cheep Cheeps are classified as something entirely different as the ones in like Lake and Seaside Kingdoms.
But they're purple.
They're purple, exactly.
They're so different.
And they can withstand the cold water.
And there's actually 2 different moons for meeting a Cheep Cheep and meeting a Snow Cheep Cheep.
That's also true.
Monitors are interesting in this game. Like, they're doing so much research on all these different things you can capture. Like, what do you plan on doing with them?
Don't ask too many questions. So
That beat's
Neo,
definitely hiding something.
Bayleef will have to get the shop right before this Peach Moon, basically. So just another kind of fake time save for Neo right here.
Alright, now we get to go into all these sub-areas that we skipped out on. Poison Room is very different from any percent because of that blowy Joey that Neo just had to jump over there, and also because of this moon right here.
Yeah, that
This
extra
probably
Taifu being there actually changes like your whole approach to the room. It's kind of crazy.
I remember watching Nycro do this category, and he had so much trouble in this room.
Yeah, it's very tricky. Like when he's done like the 80% way so much, that trying to break that muscle memory can be kind of hard. When you have to do something just slightly different.
So they still don't do Guma Room post game, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that room is just going to get skipped out on entirely. But these other 3 rooms will all have 3 moons in them, as opposed to the 2 that they have early games. So that's a big advantage of being able to skip them and come back later. You get an extra moon for coming through each of them.
So the Poison Room being done post game, it's only really faster because we don't have to go there twice because of the extra moon. But the Rango Room, which Neo's in right now, and the Moon Shards Room are very, like, the clip is almost necessary because of these 2 rooms.
Yeah, they're drastically faster. Normally you'd have
Right
to fight
here,
Rango
they
up
would be
here,
fighting Rango.
but that moon is just sitting there. That's like where the moon spawns after you beat Rango, but since you've already done the down bowl, the game kind of just thinks you've already beaten Rango, but you haven't collected the moon yet, so it puts it there.
Okay, I think Neo got a BTT segment because he just recorded that.
He's done that a few times this run, where he has taken either a screenshot or a video of something. I wonder if he like accidentally hits his button or something.
I mean, you never know. Darker Side BTT is gonna happen. Sub 3.
I mean, that's because he did get it where the ground pound was immediately in front of the other moon, so he was able to dive directly from one to the other, so definitely would work out to be a pretty good clip.
Okay, so they actually entered these 2 rooms in sync, so Bayleef is literally 1 sub-area apart.
Yeah, and much like Neo has been a moon ahead for most of this run, Bayleef is actually 1 moon ahead right now. So the lead is not as big as it seems. And then once you get back to Bowser's Kingdom, Neo will go back to being a moon ahead.
And just like the Rango Room, that moon is just kind of sitting there because the game thinks you got all the moon shards. Now we get to do Bound Ball again, not really. We're just kind of going here to get a few extra moons.
Yeah, getting close to the end of the first like big Postgame Kingdom here, and start to get into the meat of the painting chain.
And he trolled Bayleef so hard.
Yeah, he like just got high enough up to trigger him to move upwards, and that caused him not be able to jump onto the top. Kind of unfortunate.
Reasons like that are why I am very glad Snow is the first post-game kingdom.
Yeah, Snow's like really tricky. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens. A lot of weird movement that you gotta do.
So both runners are going to be grabbing this guy and flying over to the painting. There is a different strat you can do where you get the Shining on High Moon earlier and then enter Shiveria, and then you completely skip using this guy. I don't know how much time it saves, but it's
only
really
a second or two.
and bad.
Yeah, there's a jump over here that you can do to get up on this platform without the Taifu, but it's really finicky. I wouldn't say that it's difficult, it's just really inconsistent. So if you mess it up once, it winds up being slower, and since it's not really a consistent thing for anybody, nobody really goes for it. If it saved more time, people probably would do it.
So this is probably my favorite painting chain in the game, Cascade and Bowser's. I really like this. Wooded Sand and... well, I was about to say Metro. Wooded and Sand is also really cool. But Cascade and Bowser's are probably my favorite post-game kingdoms. So I believe it's actually just preference whether you get these moons first or get the... Oh, Bayleef!
Bayleef's taking a spill. He's gonna have to just
How'd
get
that
this
happen?
wind gust to jump back up.
I didn't realize you could take damage on the Taifu.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I had no idea.
That actually won't cost him that much. Oh my god, Neo almost took a death there.
Choking.
They're playing with our hearts right now.
Everyone's choking.
Yeah, that only cost Bayleef a few seconds, actually, so it wasn't too bad. Mostly
And
just, like, the damage is unfortunate.
does the health stay with you through the paintings, or does it refill?
No, it stays how it is.
Okay, so hopefully he remembers to get the checkpoint.
Yeah, the checkpoint will refill his health without losing any time if he grabs it before the moon.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and he does.
That would have annoyed me beyond belief if he didn't get that. So because Neo got the Piranha Plant in Luncheon, he doesn't have to capture that big chomp.
Yeah, because you need a certain number of unique captures to get an achievement moon. And with the way the route works out, it's like you either just have enough or you're like 1 or 2 short, depending on the strats you do.
Now this sub-area is really, really cool. This is one of the reasons Cascade is my favorite.
This sub-area is not my friend. I'll just leave it at that. But Neo had to try twice to get the jump to the top to the first moon, but that's a pretty good room. I think he'll take that any day of the week.
Oh, pfft.
This is just one of those rooms that has a tendency to kill you multiple times. Like, you'll die once and you'll just go into the tilt zone and keep dying.
That happens a lot in Darker Side, just in general.
Yeah,
That's up once, and you're just like, why am I running this?
Bayleef going for the nice wraparound triple jump to
Nice.
avoid going up top.
Neo taking it really safe on this. This is one of the scariest moons in the game. That skipping the jump. I don't like that moon at all.
Anything involving these cloud platforms, just I'm really not a fan of.
You just have to pray that your motion controls cooperate, or else you're
Yes.
dead.
Exactly. It's like a leap of faith every time.
Nice value dive.
Oh, yeah, that is why you try to avoid backflips wherever possible, because if you backflip and cap throw, there's a chance that exactly that can happen. You'll dive in a place that
It almost happened
your
again.
cap is not. But with a ground pound or a spin pound, that won't happen ever.
So the reason that's called a value dive is because back when Value 111 was in his everlasting, unstoppable dominance in this game, he would, like, I think he was on like what 104 pace or something in Bowser's, and on that moon before the brutal fights, he did a backflip and dove right past his cap and died. But he was still able to get the first 104. He was pretty insane at this game. Oh, we got a sub. That's epic. So that rock that they broke with the T-Rex earlier, they're gonna come back for it right now and get it, and then they can just get the T-Rex back.
Yeah, that's like a subtle thing you might not have even noticed they did. But yeah, when they initially captured the dinosaur to do the jump, just kind of broke the rock there.
The dino, he clipped through the wall. Save him. Okay, so Neo has to touch the water here and take the animation of the dino touching the ground because he did not get the first moon. And the game thinks you got the first moon, so if you get it, the game's kind of like, what's going on? And it crashes.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but would not be funny if you accidentally grab it in a darker side run and crash the game and kill your run.
I feel bad for the poor soul that thought you could do that and just did it in like an AUM run.
Now, theoretically, if Neo were to accidentally grab that moon, it would suck. Like, it would lose him a lot of time, but Since this game auto-saves after every moon you collect, he would just have to reload the file and he'd be pretty much exactly where he left off. But loading this game takes like multiple minutes.
Neo going to one of many shops. This is why we get so many coins throughout the run, besides the achievement.
Well, it's more so for the achievement, just because you don't actually spend all the 1,000 coins.
Yeah.
But pretty much the only shops we get nowadays, for the most part, are the outdoor shops. It's like ones that have loading zones attached to them tend to be a lot slower.
I mean, we technically get the sand shop, in a way.
What, employees only?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I do wonder if that's the moon that they sell to you.
Nah,
Probably.
that's like, I don't know. I was trying to think of a joke there, but couldn't think of anything.
Should have been an employees only in every kingdom. Just more free moons.
Nah, then it would lose its charm. So Neo is off to Bowser's Kingdom.
I can't wait to see this.
This is where the visual lead will at least partially correct itself. So like I said, Neo will wind up being a moon ahead after Bowser's Kingdom again, compared to Bayleef.
Oh yeah, speaking of free moons,
Oh,
we never went over this moon. That one that Bayleef got, that exists.
yeah. So one of the options of doing Bowser's Treasure Vault and the moon behind bars, Neo's not going to be going for that because he would have done it before the moon rock.
Oh,
So
would you
so-
warp to beneath the
Yeah,
keep?
yeah, exactly. Instead of warping to the moon rock, you'd warp to beneath the keep and get the treasure vault, and then drop down from behind the bars to the moon rock because it's like right below it. So he's gonna go for the bird and the other moon that I don't know what it's called, but you just kind of drop off a ledge for it. It's really easy. Not the intended way to do it, but that's the easy way to get it. So yeah, he'll elect to do that later on in Bowser's Kingdom, and that will give him the moons he needs to go back to the normal count.
Oh yeah, Bayleef, catching up in moon count because of that chest moon that Neo got earlier. Way earlier.
Well, it doesn't really catch him up in moon count because, like they still got the same amount of moons.
Oh yeah, that's right. Alright, so this bunny up here, if you don't get a spin throw, you're screwed, enough said.
Yeah.
That guy
Bunnies in general, like, there are really good strategies to hit bunnies kind of before they can move too far, but if you miss, they just go all over the place, and they can be a nightmare.
This one is the worst, because he doesn't just jump back and forth, he jumps all the way down to the bottom of this building.
I still say the Metro one is the worst.
Yeah.
He
Metro
hops back and forth between rooftops that, like, you take way longer to move between the rooftops than the bunny does, and it just feels impossible.
That's why you use the pole. To fling yourself. Interesting timer strat from Neo.
I kind of like it.
Oh yeah, the reason both of them wanted to go as low as they could and then go in water is just because Mario falls way faster when he's not in water.
Yeah.
So I got about an hour and a half left to go still.
Yeah, definitely past the halfway point at this point in the run.
You really did not want to say point twice.
Oh, be quiet. Talking is hard, okay?
Nice spin throw there from Bayleef. How do we know who is winning? I think it evens out after Bowser's.
So at this point, you can look at the moon counter in the top left of their screens, and you can sort of tell, at least vaguely, who's in the lead by who has more moons
Oh
up
no.
there. But that'll Bayleef missed.
Bayleef is so
See
scared.
what he needs to
Mine is
do
so
here,
scared.
like what he should have done,
He did it.
is done a down throw. You can position yourself far enough away that the rabbit won't move, and you can do a down throw and hit it, and it'll slow it down, and you can just jump into it.
Neo getting that moon inside the pylon and then just taking it all the way back to the outskirts.
Yeah, you can actually redirect the way you're traveling after grabbing the moon. Oh my god, that was actually an insanely
What?
fast spiny notes.
God.
That is the best spiny notes I've ever seen in my life.
BTT. Neo, record it. Neo, no! He's
It's okay,
losing.
we got the VOD.
It's over.
It's all under control.
Add that to the sub 3 sheet. I'm exaggerating, but I honestly would not be surprised if sub 3 was the BTT.
Oh, I think if you did it with frog skip, it would absolutely be sub free. Sub 3, sub free.
You implying something, Curvis? It happened in Sunshine, it can happen here.
No, I actually legitimately think that this run will be sub 3 RTA one day.
Yeah.
We'll just take a while to get there, obviously.
Yeah, sub 3 might have like the same journey with this game that it did with Sunshine.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's
So
kind of
missing the bird here, but the way he missed the bird, he's going to get it to respawn just by going into first-person mode. Doing it that way is still faster, like by multiple seconds, than doing the Goomba Room.
Oh, this is some big brain. I never even thought to use that pipe.
Yep.
Oh my!
And you can just drop straight down to this moon.
This moon.
So yeah, this is like the new route.
That is insane.
I think not even everybody even knows to do this yet. So some pretty fresh new tech for Darker Side.
Pretty good notes from Bayleef as well, but I don't even think they were even as close to Neo's. That was just ridiculous.
Yeah, like that moon is actually insanely hard to do because the Spinies always get in the way, but Neo somehow got like an absurd spin throw that just barely avoided them like 4 times.
Why isn't he getting the notes there? That's my favorite moon.
Oh, that notes moon is so slow. It's insane. There's like 18 phases of it.
Why is your go-to number always 18?
Is it?
It takes 18 years to do something. It has 18 phases.
I don't know, man. I just talk. I just let the words come out. I don't really think about it.
Oh, Neo doing volleyball? Never mind. 15 volleyball in Darker Side.
Dude, volleyball tilts me. It doesn't tilt me because it's difficult. It tilts me because it takes so long to do.
Yeah. So Neo and I think Bayleef also planted that seed in a very good spot because if they it leads them right into this moon here very conveniently. But if they planted it in one seed, like the one behind where Neo got the moon, they would have lost like what, 7 seconds or something.
Something like that, yeah. Thankfully, this is the one kingdom where you can artificially grow the seeds by just spraying it with a Gushin. If you were to plant it in the one that takes longer to grow, but yeah, thankfully neither runner is gonna have to deal with that this time around. But after Bowser's Kingdom, Neo is back to being 1 moon ahead, I believe.
How many moons has he gotten in Seaside? He has...
This would be his...
5th? Yeah.
4th, right?
Wait, he got...
Or 5th, yeah.
Secret? This
would
one...
be his 5th.
Yeah.
So Bayleef coming in.
Neo has 81 right now. After getting 6 moons. 7 now.
Yeah, so Neo was 1 moon ahead coming... Or wait, is he 1 moon behind? Or no,
Yeah,
they're even.
It's
they're
hard.
Even. They're even on moon count.
Okay.
So the lead you see is pretty much the actual lead.
That was
Wait, Bayleef
probably...
did plant it in the wrong pot? Oh, I
Oh, no.
actually could have swore that I looked at his screen earlier and saw that it was planted in the correct one.
You probably turned the camera too far.
Yeah.
You're...
See, the thing, it can be hard to see sometimes, but you can tell better as the runner, like just like with the game audio, like what's happening with the seeds. So at least he knew right away that he was gonna have to do that. Like he had no hesitation there. So probably didn't lose him too much time.
Yeah,
But,
I play it safe and keep my camera on the seed, just in case.
Yeah, I tend to as well. Like you can hear it if it goes into a pot, but that's only going to tell you if it goes into any of the pots. It's not going to tell you which one it went into.
There have been so many in-sync moon grabs. Oh, we get to see the clip.
Yeah, so the new fish clip is coming up pretty soon here. Neo's going to collect a couple moons, or a handful of moons, in this section, and he'll go out of bounds to get 2
That
moons.
camera angle was so perfect. Like, he had to hold forward, basically, to grab that. Oh, it's looking like any percent movement, jeez.
Yeah, pretty much. This whole section.
Alright, so what he's gonna do here, he's gonna lead the fish over here, and then he's gonna ditch it, go the other way, and capture it. And then clip through. Very, very easy. Hopefully he doesn't clip back in, because that'd be very bad. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, you have to like get right up against the border kind of going back in bounds to be able to grab that moon. But thankfully those fish spin attacks have such a huge grab box.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how big it is.
So yeah, normally you'd have to talk to the Sphinx and answer a quiz question, and then he would slide over, and then there'd be an opening to go into that room. But going out of bounds, you can just access the load zone from behind and go in there a lot faster.
Oh, he's actually doing this? I thought this was only for, like, AUM.
No, it's good for Darker Side as well.
Interesting.
There just happens to be like another strat that's a little easier and barely slower. But Neo got that pretty nicely, so...
So, has the fish clip, like, has it fully been tested, like, how it's gonna apply to AUM? Like, are we gonna get the Shards Moon with the fish now?
I believe so. I'm not fully up to date on AUM strats, but from what I've seen, that's what it sounds like is gonna happen. Collecting a few moons on the way over from out of bounds.
It's gonna be nutty.
Doing the Shards Moon.
Sub 750. Honestly, that Shards Room without the fish feels like it takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think it actually saves that much time to do it with the clip, but...
Because you have to go all the way around.
It's just so much less annoying. Because anytime you're swimming without being in a capture in this game, it just sucks. Which I like praise this game for making water levels good by just turning you into a fish.
I wouldn't exactly say Seaside is good, but Lake, yeah.
I think they're both pretty good. Like,
Lake
at least for water levels. Like for your typical water level, like they're all just terrible. But this game was smart enough to just let you be a fish when you're in the water, and it makes it 10 times better.
Yeah, Lake is probably my favorite kingdom in the game, just overall. Music is best song in the game, in my opinion. Because
I'm a pretty big fan of Lake Kingdom as well.
Wooded is overrated.
Agreed.
Also, I have negative feelings towards that kingdom after running any percent.
Yeah, I've had kind of negative feelings about Wooded Kingdom since the first day I played the game. I've never really liked it that much.
So much stuff everywhere. And also Deep Woods exists.
Yeah.
So, one weird thing about exiting pipes, Mario actually acts as if he's on land, so your hat throws are actually very fast. And that also applies to entering pipes. You can actually just hold down on the fish over the pipe and then dismount it, and he automatically goes into the pipe.
Neo
Neo
looks
doing
like he
some
got
camera.
the camera manip. Um, just
Run!
pointing the camera down at the ground and then turning it up at the right moment so that you manipulate when the eel comes out of his little hole there, and you can get in, grab the moon, and get out before he ever pokes his head out, and it lets you avoid taking damage.
Honestly, the fish being chased away by that eel with that specific camera angle, that's probably how, like, every single kid felt when they played Mario 64 for the first
Yeah,
time. And they
dude,
saw the JRB eel.
honestly, the JRB eel is way scarier to me. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is about that
because
thing.
in this game, they try to make them look scary.
See,
Right.
honestly, I think the thing about it is this eel, I think you're right there. They tried to make it look scary, so it, like, isn't that scary. But also, it just pokes its head out. It doesn't fully swim out of the hole and just like roam around.
Yeah. And
I think,
also, oh, again, Neo. Also, the one in 64, like, it jumps out and, like, swings its head back and forth, and it's
yeah.
so unsettling.
All right. So speaking of Wooded Kingdom,
Oh god.
here we go. All right. So first, like the first part of this kingdom is easy. Neo's gonna finish off the story stuff. But after that, this kingdom gets wacky and wild, and pretty difficult.
That's a interesting way to describe it, to say the least.
Yeah, you know.
Alright, playing some Call of Duty.
All right, took 5 shots rather than the optimal 4, but you know, we take those. Can't be 100% accurate all the time. So Bayleef coming up on the painting. Gonna be joining Neo in Wooded Kingdom soon here. We'll probably see them both on the boss fight at the same time.
About this far into the run is when commentating gets hard.
Nah, this is... the fun's just starting on me. We're gonna get to the most ridiculous part of the painting chain in a couple
True.
kingdoms, which is like sand to metro to
Lake and Luncheon.
yeah, or just like this, like wooded to sand to metro is just like probably the hardest stretch of the run.
Yeah.
All those kingdoms are just so big, and like there's so many things you need to do. A lot of dumb stuff that can mess you up. So this boss fight is like it's like more than halfway through the run by quite a bit, but I think of it as like the halfway like break. It's just like the last real breathing point until the end of the run.
Yeah, it's like the ruined Kingdom Dragon, just really late.
Yeah, exactly.
I really wish this was like an auto-scroller that kind of beat itself, so you could just like get up and do something.
It'd be nice.
I mean, if you want, you can just stand on the gray blocks and let Torque Drift do its thing, but you have to get the fast nut boy, so can't really do that.
Yeah, saves a few seconds. So yeah, Neo getting this last hit on the boss as Bayleef is just starting the fight here.
One Torque Drift behind. I'm gonna go stay hydrated. No.
So that is officially world peace achieved. These guys did all the story moons, or completed the final story moon in every kingdom, except for Wooded on the first visit. So that right there gets you the world peace achievement. One of the 31 achievement moons that these guys will get from Toadette at the very end. They'll be the last moons they collect before going to Darker Side. 31 of the 500 total required to get there.
And the real fun of Wooded hasn't even started yet because we're just doing any % movement right now.
Yeah, I always thought it was really funny that this movement got moved to the second visit, and it's like 2 hours into the run when I was so used to doing it like 20 minutes into the run for any %. It just like feels like you're in the Twilight Zone.
Immediately doing Deep Woods was a real saving grace.
Yeah.
We used to do it really late, and that was just the worst.
And that was back at the point where we like were doing really dumb dino strats to get it to turn around 3 times and bonk into a tree, and it would like screw you over a lot.
I am guilty of dying to that dino.
I think I probably did like once or twice in the early days. More so just like failing to capture it and then having to get it to run in circles again to get it to knock out. More so than dying was always my issue.
Nice little jump from Neo there. Skipping glide on, unfortunately.
So a little bit of funny darker side lore is that jump. We used to do a version of that where we set up like a really weird vector.
Oh my! That's how I learned it.
Vector
And
cat
then
ball.
Neo told me there was a long jump.
Yeah, we realized if you just drop down to the lower platform and roll, it's like closer to that, and you can just long jump off of it. And we felt so stupid that we were like trying to do this stupid, difficult vector jump when we could just move closer and long jump. It makes it free.
Speaking of really stupid jumps, here we go.
Oh, I love this jump. This is another one. You have to jump off the ramp and kind of angle your fall. Easy every time, though.
I do this with one rocket flower because Mario vectors a lot more with no rocket flowers.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never noticed. I tend to just grab whatever flowers are there.
I mean,
sometimes
after
I get
you
one,
failed
sometimes
it-
I get 2.
After you failed it like 10 times in a row, yeah, that's when you start thinking of new ways to do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's really bad. Also, we can get an early checkpoint.
Yeah, so that's like the really roundabout way to get to the top of the kingdom. Otherwise, you have to do like a really slow auto scroller, like elevator timer challenge thing to get up there and grab that checkpoint.
Nice
And that-
face by Bayleef.
Yeah. Yeah, you break that crate open and the game just like freeze frames on Mario.
Mario is very expressive in this game, to say the least, compared to every
Yes.
other game.
Mario has emotional depth.
As soon as we found out that he had each individual hair and pore visible on his face, that's when we knew this game was gonna be good. So is first-person talking really useful, aside from, like, Toadette and a few other places? Because Bayleef probably could have done it for Toad there, but
Yeah,
usually
I mean,
the camera pans anyway.
there are a few instances where the camera pans in a weird way for talking to certain NPCs, but the vast majority of NPCs that you talk to, it's faster to go in first-person mode before doing so. Like, the most notable one I can think of is like talking to the Boundable Shivarian before capturing him, because you like.
I thought you had to wait until he was like about, because he does a little animation before talking to you.
Yeah, exactly. So you hit A to talk, and then he like kind of, I don't know what he's doing, like waking up or whatever. Yeah, he gets sad. He gets into the sad boy zone, and then the camera pans like after a couple seconds. It's like going into first person doesn't avoid that camera panning.
Then you have things like Toadette that save 12 seconds in this category.
Yeah, like going into first person for the 31 achievements saves about 12 seconds overall, so it's pretty significant. But if you like kind of stretch that time save out to other instances, it could save like anywhere from like maybe like 0.3 to 0.5 seconds depending on the situation and how much the camera would normally pan for that NPC. So if you do it for like every possible chance, you can save a lot of time.
I still have no idea how much time first person saves in AUM for Toadette. Oh, Neo fell.
Well, how many total achievements are there? Is it like 60?
Yeah.
I think it's like double, so it would save like roughly double the amount of time.
What is Neo gonna do since he missed that nut?
Well, he could
Metro
just...
Shop?
Yeah, he could just get a backup moon. Or he could get it later. Like, instead of warping to Station 8 at the end, he could warp to the peak again and get the nut and then drop down to do the last timer challenge stuff.
Alright, so it's actually kind of bad that he missed that nut, because not only does he have to get a backup moon, that made his bird cycle very bad. Wow, he's still going for the timer. I'm surprised.
No, the bird's still pretty far away. He should be okay.
Watch him still go for the big jump. Okay, he can't. The bird is too close to do it.
Yeah. He does have plenty of time to kind of get set up on the railing, though. Hopefully, yeah. Didn't miss the bird. That's good. Sometimes when you're standing on that rail and you try to throw your cap at the bird as it passes by, you'll just, like, miss inexplicably, and it's really annoying. But thankfully, Neo was able to get that there.
If only Moon 2 going into the church was fast, we could get that Moon Kingdom hint art here. Hey, look, guys, we're in Dark Side.
I actually had so much trouble doing the dark side version of this room for the first time.
I just did dives, and it was super easy.
I don't know, I tried to long jump, and I just, like, long jumps are, like, you have to have, like, an awkward spacing in between each long jump, and it was really messing with me. But I'm also not a very good casual gamer.
Alright, so Neo did not get a very random clip there. That was entirely his fault that he didn't get it.
Yeah, you can kind of clip through that ceiling. I've done it twice. Both times were on accident.
So I.
No idea how to do it consistently. Nobody really knows. Alright, so Neo did warp. Yeah. I'm not too surprised by this. I think... Oh my god, he missed it again.
No.
Is he going to warp again, though? He is. He's going to try it again. He's
Just
determined.
Get it casually. There are invisible blocks up there.
Yeah, he could have, like, saved that. That might have been faster.
I'm so scared. Okay.
Alright, he does grab it. I think that is, like, overall faster than getting a different backup moon, because you can just roll around and do this stuff that he would normally come over here to do. Like, he normally warped to that checkpoint instead.
And he still has a lead. Well.
Yeah, so wasted a lot of time there, but he had a pretty significant lead going into Wooded, so... Oh, and Bayleef's gonna take a death. Yeah, there's no way to come back from this. I refuse to believe he's gonna be able to... Oh my god!
Oh my god! What?
Bayleef, what?
Oh,
the heck, man? Like, he must have done that before. There's, like... I refuse to believe that was on the fly. He has been in that situation before. What I thought he was going to try to do was wait for a Bolt Bill to pass by and up there to capture it. And that would have worked as well. That was a really nice backup, though, by Bayleef.
That was insane.
Definitely better than
that in Dark Side.
Yeah. Alright, so Neo coming in to Sand Kingdom.
This is another one of my favorite portions in Postgame. I love Sand.
And this is another one that's really difficult. Especially, like, the first half, I find to be pretty tough. First half of this kingdom.
Sand and Lake are probably my favorite kingdoms. Because Lake is definitely my favorite, but Sand isn't very far behind. Sphinx Clip is an exception. That does not count. I don't count that as part of Sand Kingdom. I count that as part of a very, very bad place. Oh.
Right. So looks like Neo, like coming into Sand Kingdom, is approximately like 50 to 55 seconds ahead.
He just smacked the dog in the face.
Yeah, he had to teach the dog a lesson.
Why are you so cruel to animals? Jeez.
First,
First, you accept murdering dinos and Yoshi, and then you like.
I never accepted murdering Yoshi. I just said they would have a chance to do it if they so choose.
Your profile picture is literally Yoshi.
Exactly. I don't endorse the killing of Yoshis, but the dinosaur and the dog, they kind of had it coming. That's all I'm saying. They're not very nice.
So there is a strat, I don't know if it's faster, but you can actually jump into that plant and spawn the moon, and then just slide onto that wall and jump into it. It's very, very minor. But it looks cool. If it looks cool, it's worth doing. Basically, speedrunning in a nutshell.
I mean, speedrunning is all about looking cool at the end of the day. Prove me wrong.
It's all about going fast. Alright, so Bayleef chose the fastest option, which is track 61, but Neo chose the ruined dragon.
Bayleef actually did not choose the fastest option because he scrolled the slightly slower way.
Oh.
If you scroll optimally, you would pick track 58. I think it's like 1 or 2 less inputs, but really not a big deal. That Toad wants to hear a song from a boss fight, basically, so you could pick like 11 different songs.
So, what Neo's doing here is, well, he was doing it. He was manipulating his camera to get a very, very far away bird on an interesting cycle, because for some reason this bird is based on your camera and not, like, it's not just flying around like the other one is.
Yeah, I actually realized that a few weeks ago, that if you are looking at that bird, it will move. And if you're looking at the bird and let it start moving and then you turn around and look away, it'll stop moving. Like, I would stand at like the spot Neo is now and just look at the bird and then turn around and look away for like 10 seconds. And I'd turn back around and the bird would be in the exact same spot.
Now, this moon right here is what a lot of people consider the hardest moon in the game.
No comment.
I mean, if you don't know about motion controls somehow, then I guess. I've gotten it without motion controls before.
Yeah, it's possible.
Nice little movement there. That's why we don't do the normal Jaxie skip that we would do 90%, because that little ledge. And now music goes away, because of this guy.
Yeah, if you're riding Jaxie for the first time, you kind of like unlock the music track, so it defaults back to playing the new music as opposed to the one you already had playing.
I do like that we end AUM with the escape, because we can just play whatever song we want during the escape. Just play the Captain Toad theme on sub 8 pace.
Jaxie sound effects, they're classic.
It's so weird. Like, I didn't even notice until you said it. So I was paying attention to Bayleef's screen, so all the sound just kind of went out of my ears. And I heard the Jaxie sound, I'm like, what is that?
Right. Fishing is always fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think that was the
Wasn't
first
Bayleef's
bite.
fishing, like, absolutely ridiculous in this PB? Like,
I'm not sure.
he got really good fishes. Wow. He got really good fishing in his PB.
I
Especially
do
Lake.
know that it's not like a completely like random chance to get whatever bite fishing. Like it's like pretty much heavily weighted to most of the time get it either first or second bite that we found out just like after a little bit of testing.
That's what they all say until I get 9th bite on PB pace.
I mean, I've definitely gotten like 7th, 8th bite before, but it happens pretty rarely, and it's almost like the majority of the time it's either like first, second, or third bite.
Okay, this is new to me.
Yeah, there are like a couple different orders you can do this like back half section of sand. Doing this 2D section right away after the warp, I think Neo messed it up a little bit, but you get like a pretty good cycle for these bullet bills if you drop down properly. And it allows you to set up like a bounce into the little alcove so that you don't have to use the moving platforms. But Neo's a little off on his cycle, so he's just going to do this the normal way. Definitely the smarter play in that situation.
Now we got... Oh, he's not doing the dumb dive. I do a dive like right before the pylon ends.
Yeah, I do that as well.
And,
because if you manually exit the pylon, you'll be in a position to dive whichever way your camera's facing. So in that case, you can exit the pylon right before you would naturally get kicked out, and you'll be facing like to the left towards Peach as opposed to facing forward towards the center of the arena.
And I have never fallen off the pyramid before, so I will keep doing it.
Oh, I have. So Bayleef is doing the old order here. Basically, he's doing this section now, whereas Neo will do it at the end. And Bayleef will take Glide On to get to the last moon on a pillar. Whereas Neo can just grab that moon from the crate and then take a bullet bill over, like you would do in any percent.
Oh, okay.
So it's Neo's way is just slightly faster, a couple seconds.
I can't recall if it was this category or AUM, but I think one time the route had us get that pillar moon with the Jaxi after jumping off the pyramid.
What?
It was very weird, and we missed it a lot. But
I was just say that is the most jank thing I've ever heard in my life.
Because somehow the Jaxi can reach that. Also, shoutouts to Nintendo for knowing you can get on top of this room because I put coins there.
Yeah, that was like Nintendo's like somewhat lazy way of just acknowledging, hey, look,
you're good at the game.
We know about this. Don't think you're outsmarting us.
I think the very first one of those coin stacks that got like super good attention was the one in the Knuckle Tech Arena.
Yeah.
Because that was like when the game first came out and people were like, how is this guy so good?
That's one of the more out of the way ones, for sure.
That was for like people who knew about cap bounces. Alright, is he gonna save or kill the animals?
Oh, he hit the sheep.
There we go.
That's how you know the run is not cursed. If the sheep avoids you, the run is cursed. That's how it goes. I don't make the rules.
I'm gonna watch your 319 now to make sure he didn't avoid you.
He didn't.
Okay.
I can actually tell you that confidently.
Pretty nice sub area from Neo. Whenever one of those rooms is like top-down themed, I always think it's a reference to 2D Zelda, but it definitely is not.
Yeah, I mean, it does look similar to that.
I mean, 3D Land has an entire level based around top-down view, and it's literally a reference to Zelda because the torches that you can light in that level make Zelda sound effects. So
Interesting.
that feeling when I'm now co-commentating with a Zelda speedrunner.
That's true.
Future top 20 legend.
As of a week ago. Dude, I'm repping like all of the 3 major Nintendo franchises on my speedrun resume now.
You run Sonic?
Oh my god. Okay, that's the worst joke you've made. This commentary. Oh no, Bayleef missed the sheep.
Okay, I have delay because you said that before he missed.
So yeah, Neo's gonna clean up this last section, like I said earlier, and just take a bullet bill over to the pillar, which is right above the painting, the Metro Kingdom, and he'll be on his way.
Those spin pounds were so nice. Oh, look at this clean any percent movement. And now we go to the worst part of the run. Cool. Metro 2 is terrible.
Agreed. So I'm trying to think. Neo should be on track as far as moon count goes because he took the time to go back and get that nut that he missed.
I'm actually kind of curious. I don't think he's on PB pace, but I just want to check.
No, I don't think he is either because just coming out of the early game, I think he was like 2.5 minutes behind or something.
Yeah.
That was PB.
Just from mech alone, like,
Yeah.
that was not very fortunate.
But, you know, this we're not in it for the PB today. All he has to do is outplay his opponent, which to this point he has. Still a bit under an hour left in the run, so there's a lot that can happen. Some pretty tough kingdoms left to play.
Oops, the site's under a lot of pressure right now. Oops, the site's under...
Love it.
Speedrun.com.
Great website. Anyway, I think Neo extended his lead slightly in Sand Kingdom based on the painting entrance times. I think he's a little bit over a minute ahead now instead of just under a minute ahead.
Okay, he's like a minute 15 minus PD. But that's actually pretty good. Like 3.
Yeah, that's actually closer than I was expecting.
Clear keep, best moon. Scoot clip? Are you kidding me?
Well, because he wants the capture, basically.
True.
And Scoot Clip doesn't give you like as much of an advantage here as it does in like any percent because you have to get this timer challenge, so you have to kind of ditch the scooter a little earlier.
The only reason I do it is because I have not done the RC car since like last January, probably.
Yeah, I know some people think it's easier to Scoot Clip than it is to just control the RC car.
Back in the day, if you were good at the RC car, you were basically the Odyssey master.
Honestly,
so hard.
I don't find it that difficult. I'm gonna be real.
It's just the backing up part into the cage that's hard for me.
It's just not intuitive because people try to treat it like they're driving a real car, and that's not how RC cars work. But it is pretty, you know, true to form to a real life RC
There we
car.
go.
Oh, Neo messed up slots, so he's gonna have to wait out the third one there to make sure he hits the moon.
Bayleef doing Metro Shop.
Yeah, so that is his
Nice video.
That is his replacement for Twist and Turn, I suppose. So I think... I don't know, actually, where the moon counts lie anymore. I'm kind of losing track. And we're past the point of being able to count because the on-screen counter is filled up.
They both have 3 dots.
So they're tied.
Yeah, they're basically tied. Alright, here we go. Best moon. Yay. Oh, we got another sub. Let's go. Missed the checkpoint. No. He definitely needs that.
So you can stand on this box and talk to Peach from down below. I promise you, Mario's not a pervert. He's just trying to go fast.
I mean, Peach is probably used to it. They've known each other for so long. Then again, the end of this game does say otherwise. She hates Mario and Bowser.
Peach is just a little sassy. She likes to pretend like she hates
Still better
Mario.
than Daisy, that abomination of a human being.
Whoa. Alright, so while we're on the topic, what is your favorite Peach outfit in this game?
Oh, Farmer, without question.
Oh, heck yeah. Everybody hates on the overalls, but you know, it's pretty clearly the best outfit, if you ask me.
Yeah, Farmer and the one in Cap is my favorite.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Peacoat.
Sad that Farmer's only in Luncheon, the worst kingdom in the game.
Yeah, that's true, but hey, we gotta have something in Luncheon to make it a little better, right?
Yeah, like Cookatiel.
Whoa. We don't even joke about that. Come on.
When is Farmer Cookatiel, IMO?
I'm gonna ban you.
Alright, so Neo's in this park here. Despite how small this place is, it's pretty hard.
There's a lot going on. He's got that bird cycle to juggle. He's got to make sure the dog is getting to his spots to dig up a moon. Dog's being a little slow, but that's not too far from optimal, honestly.
If there's one thing in Metro that makes up for the awful everything else, it's this sub-area coming up. This is one of my favorites.
Really?
Pitch Black Mountain, it's sick.
I don't know, it seems like a pretty average area to me. I don't really feel too strongly one way or the other about it.
I just like the look of it, with the torches at the beginning, and everything else just lighting up in your path. It is the worst feeling ever when you get hit by that ogre, though.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna jump off that guy.
He's done ILs of this room that I've seen, and he gets like a roll boost off of that ogre going to the second moon. It's really funny.
It's ridiculous.
And really fast.
Now he's gonna go up to the climb. Equally as hard in every other category.
He kind of hesitated there. That was just to make sure that the moon was fully loaded. Because sometimes, like I said earlier with the camera, if you're not looking at something, it won't be like tangible, basically. So that moon, it can happen sometimes where you'll jump off the top of the pole and just kind of phase right through it.
I believe if you actually grab that key to spawn the moon, as soon as the timer disappears, the game actually soft locks.
Really? Neo got a pretty good drop on his scooter here. Just gonna
Not Bullseye. Rip.
Yeah, Bullseye is super hard. And not really worth losing any.
I remember when Leap of Faith, like the other scooter moon, was in a darker side. Whenever I got Bullseye, it would be like the hypest thing.
Yeah, that one's a little easier to get the Bullseye. I actually don't know if I've ever seen someone get Bullseye on that scooter moon. It's like, just because of the angle you're coming at, it's a lot harder.
Alright, now we got the worst bird in the whole game.
Yeah, this one's pretty bad. Kind of flip the camera around at a particular point so that the bird will line up. He's going to try to land on top of this light post below him.
Oh, jeez.
And he does. Gets the bird nicely. Perfectly done, pretty much. You know, I gotta
And one
say...
could argue that the bird and cap in Dark Side is harder, as I showed earlier today.
This Metro's kind of flown by.
Yeah, good. I don't want to see it.
Still a nice opportunity for Neo to die here, because this room sucks. But
What is he doing?
He likes to go up top. I don't think it's optimal, but it's
No,
definitely
he was like shuffling between the pole, just going back and...
Oh yeah, that can happen just like if you hold the direction for too long, I think.
Didn't
You'll, like,
even do any percent BTT strats, wow. That is a sub area in any percent, if you're good.
which nobody goes for.
Yeah. Now we get to the best kingdom, right after doing the worst.
So Bayleef picking up that bird pretty smoothly as well. He's gonna head into the bullet building himself to finish out Metro.
Kinda sucks that Lake is, like, sandwiched between Metro and Luncheon. It's like the little calm before the storm.
I don't know, I think Lake is harder than Luncheon in general, like the second visits.
The only thing I really have trouble with is Poison Room, but other than that, and the Spinies room, but other than that, it's pretty good. Pretty easy, I mean.
I don't know, sometimes the bird here gives me trouble.
Just long jump.
Yeah, I mean, I do, but I don't know, I just miss it sometimes. See, I don't know why Neo goes for that flower. I've seen him do that multiple times now. But you can just single jump off that platform and cap bounce to get to the moon rock.
Not seeing any spin throw roll cancels here, I'm disappointed. Best strat in the game. Oh god, that was so close. Jeez. Alright, gonna get these Goombas here. And then after this, he's gonna enter probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest sub-area in the run. Bayleef kind of having an awkward fish there. If that fish is far enough back, it a long time for him to actually pop out of the water. Alright, hopefully Neo gets a good poison here. Alright, pretty good so far. If you do this optimally enough, I think like the best possible cycle makes it so that you just barely make it when you touch the key.
Yeah, it like pretty much always looks like you're gonna die on the jump right before the key, but you can barely make it.
I saw Bayleef do that at HDQ, and I was like, oh, it's crazy. Now we got another timer challenge here, and then we get to talk to Peach. Not a fan of this costume of Peach.
You know, I don't know why, but I always envision Lake Kingdom as being cold. Not like Snow Kingdom cold, but you know, it's
just kind of like
it's probably like a brisk like 45, 50 degrees in there.
Like you're stepping into a pool for the first time, and it's like really cold.
Yeah, sort of.
So there is a trick here that you can actually do if you bring a Cheep Cheep.
Oh, Bayleef got the fast cycle.
Oh, nice. If you bring a Cheep Cheep, here you can actually leave it to sit inside that little pool that Neo just passed by, and do a little capture warp there after doing the secret room. I don't know how much it saves, but I think it's faster. Now we get to go deep, deep down, as the name of the moon implies. I don't think the difference between them is like a minute. It's probably less.
I think it was just over a minute coming out of sand.
Yeah, it looked like Bayleef saved a lot of time in the Metro, but I was probably just seeing things.
I think Bayleef actually lost time in Metro because he got the shot moon.
Oh yeah, right.
But I'm not sure what the moon counts are currently, so it's hard to say exactly what the time difference is.
They have at least 150. Right, Neo about to enter another pretty hard sub area. I'm curious if he's gonna go for the ledge grabless strat.
I think Neo typically does the ledge grab.
You do it without, right?
Yeah. Which I don't know that it's any faster, I just prefer doing it that way. So yeah, Neo's gonna go for the ledge grab here. Because I always got a thing where when I dropped off the ledge, I would just lose my cap bounce for whatever reason. I never really understood why, so I just switched to doing it without a ledge grab, which looks a lot scarier than it is. But for me, it's actually more consistent.
They do realize they can roll into the flowers, right?
Yeah, that's like something I didn't realize, or like I knew, but just like always like in certain spots would forget to do.
All right, is he gonna go for the odd man, bouncing off the Goomba?
You mean the thing that isn't faster? Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm so
He
sad.
still has to get the fishing moon.
Oh, did he forget it or something?
He didn't forget it. He tried to get it earlier. I don't know if he just like. I think he might have like accidentally pulled up one of the small fish.
Oh.
Instead, and just like decided to abandon it, and get it at the end. But
and
yeah.
now time for luncheon. Oh boy. So luncheon used to be a really long second visit, but now after the second visit, after Captain Toad, we just go and dump our moons immediately and do Cap, Lost, and Moon. And then we go back to luncheon for a third visit, which saves about 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, so the second visit is really short, and like a lot of the more difficult stuff that was in like the old second visit is now a third visit.
I honestly think second visit's harder, just because of the Captain Toad jump.
Yeah, that's like the one minorly difficult thing. Just like the average difficulty of everything in the third visit is higher, I would say.
Yeah. Now we're gonna be seeing some any percent stuff.
For about 10 seconds.
Yeah. It's always nice to sprinkle some any percent movement in between.
So another fun fact here. We believe that the optimal route would do a really difficult jump from the warp painting straight down to this moon rock, because you can make it from the painting island. And open that moon rock straight away rather than utilizing that warp. But it's a pretty hard jump.
Just use 2P.
And it hasn't ever been like properly routed out in times, but I don't think it would save a super significant amount of time. But I do think it would be faster. But it's just not something anybody's really willing to go for at the current like optimization level of Darker Side.
Why would you ever do brunch in a category that's not star percent?
I mean, it'll get there someday. If we want sub 3, we're gonna have to do stuff like that.
Bayleef struggling with the bunny. Nice backup on the fork, though.
So, speaking of the Captain Toad jump,
Oh, jeez.
coming up soon for Neo, he's going to grab a moon that you can see all the way down on that rooftop. And then he's going to do a timer challenge, and as the timer challenge is expiring, he's going to do like a triple jump off of it towards Captain Toad, and then he'll get his cap back just in time to be able to throw it and get a cap bounce to clear the rest of the distance to get to the little island that Captain Toad is sitting on in the back that you can see.
Nice spin throw. Finally.
Alright, so Neo's got to time this carefully. He's going to have to kind of get in position and stand and wait for the timer challenge to expire.
Very, very scary. And loses a lot of time. So.
He should be more than good there. Yeah, nicely done.
Nice. And now, the dump. Big old dump takes about, what, 50 seconds? No, probably not that long. I think it's like 45 or something.
Yeah, not quite that long. Closer to like 30 or 40, I think. But here we'll finally get an update on our moon counts. So Neo's sitting at 397. And as soon as Bayleef does these 2 moons and his own moon dump, we'll find out if he is in fact on that same moon count or ahead or behind by 1. I think he's probably tied with it, but he might be up 1 moon. Like he might have 1 extra. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, the moon dump is always the most intense part of the run, aside from Lost 2, because all those moons are going into Odyssey, and you're just like, please don't miss one, please don't miss one.
And I can tell you, based on Neo's route, 397 is the correct moon count that he would normally have there.
Alright, going for the jump here. This is in pretty much every single category that revisits the map, and it's terrible.
And Neo got it perfectly.
Nice.
So he goes for the long jump setup. You can also do like a triple jump. Kind of just a preference thing, which one you go for. Some people are more comfortable with one over the other.
I did the triple jump for a long time and just kept missing it, so I stopped. Yeah, I still missed the long jump one, to be fair. Okay, Bayleef 397.
Yeah, so same moon counts. Neo looks to be like about a minute 15, minute 20 ahead.
All comes down to execution now.
20. Yeah, there's still some very scary things left in this run that can easily lose you a minute. Mostly Lost Kingdom.
I don't know, man. Moon 2 is pretty scary. Oh, is he gonna make that? Okay. Nice. Bayleef gets it as well. Alright, 12.9 for Neo.
This is the best song in the game, by the way. Second best song in the game.
I don't know, Climactic Duel is pretty good.
What's that one?
It's the one for Picture Match.
Oh.
For some reason, it's called Climactic Duel.
Picture Match is pretty epic.
It's also terrible.
The Goomba one is great because you can make a smiling Goomba and still win.
Yeah, and then you get to Mushroom and you're like, I don't want to.
Let's talk about the real travesty, which is Moon Kingdom Moon Kingdom Trace Walking. That is the actual
Yeah.
worst moon in the game.
Especially if the dog gets in your way. Which can happen.
I didn't know that could happen. That's
Yeah. If you
terrifying.
leave the dog long enough after he's dug up the spot, he starts moving around on his own and goes towards you. Where is Neo going? I don't think he should be
casually drop off the edge right into a moon.
And
he got like
died.
the straight vector into it as well. Like you didn't need a cat bounce or anything, so that was really good.
I believe in AUM and 100%. We actually, after getting that moon, we go back up and enter the tower from the top.
Yeah.
It's things like that that make the really long categories cool. They got strats in them that you don't even see in this one. Looking at that hint art for later. Second best Peach costume.
So ever since Neo took that death warp, he's been on a bird cycle. And coming up here, he'll be looking to meet up with the bird. And Bayleef's going to be on that cycle soon as well.
So Bayleef, he does a ground pound roll off of that railing. Does that position you perfectly to touch the moon or something?
It might, I'm not sure.
Because it doesn't look like he moves at all.
I take the same approach Neo does, where I just spin pound slightly like in a direction away from where Captain Toad is facing, and then vector down to where the moon should be. And if I need to, I just adjust it on the fly.
I still have never experimented with unlocking darker and dark side at the same time. It probably just tells you can go to darker side and doesn't do both.
Yeah, I would imagine.
You know, flying all the way over here to get this danger sign. Very long moon. Let's just do the Snowdram setup and get to the danger sign. Easy.
Alright, so that is the last moon of Cap for Neo, but he is coming up on probably the single most terrifying kingdom of this entire run.
S. This kingdom killed a 148 for me in Darkside earlier.
This kingdom has killed numerous runs. For many people, it's awful.
Ugh.
I've seen people die 7 times in this kingdom in the same run.
Oh god.
Like good runners.
The only runner I've seen not have any trouble with this is Nycro. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him die here before.
I'm also not convinced Nycro is human, so...
True. Once he comes back to Darker Side, dude, he's gonna, like, destroy. Because he's already ran it, so he has the experience.
You got a 319 in, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
319s took me...
Well, he used Frog Skip.
Well, yeah, true. But even 322, which is, like, what the equivalent would be, took me, like, many months.
Crazy. There's more any percent related stuff in this category than you might expect. Just the little things that they save time over us. At least we have Darkside and AUM to keep ourselves safe from them.
Ooh, Neo tried to line it up so that he could break that block without taking damage, but he just kind of barely missed the angle there, so...
Is it even faster to do that without damage? Because you have to wait.
It is significantly faster. Huh. It's like 2 seconds.
So I thought you would have to, like, wait for the guy to...
Yeah, you have to wait, but you don't have to wait that long. Like, you just have to bait him over slightly, and then you can get a proper angle to do it, and then you don't have to deal with the health refill.
Alright, this is probably the scariest part of Lost. The shards.
Yeah, so you're meant to stretch across with the tropical wigglers to get to all these little platforms, but that's slow. So Neo's gonna be bouncing around precariously, landing on little platforms all over the place, collecting all the shards, but did it pretty nicely there. This is the easy part.
I really hope he never does that roll.
That roll cancel is a lot safer than it looks. Most of the time, if you go too far, you'll just ledge grab. So you won't actually die.
It's so scary.
It is very scary looking, though. For sure.
Wonder if he's gonna do... Oh, he is, okay.
Yeah. This part is pretty tough. You're also supposed to use the Tropical Wiggler to stretch around and grab all these notes, but you can also do it with spin throws.
Okay, so he does topper first, but he does clockwise... Wow. He does clockwise spin throws.
Oh, don't get me started on clockwise spin throws. Alright, he's going to try to set up... He's going to try to hit the rabbit. That is intentional. Like, he'll hit that rabbit every time that way.
That's ridiculous. I didn't even know that. I get the rabbit and then the ground pound moon.
Yeah, I do as well.
Line it up.
But, yeah, like, with the way he has it lined up, if he's on that cycle, he knows how to get the triple jump to hit the rabbit every time as he makes his way over to that ground pound. So yeah, this was actually a really nice loss from Neo so far. He still has these last 2 moons to get. He could miss the timer challenge, but this is kind of the easier part of the kingdom.
Pretty good from Bayleef as well. No deaths yet. Fingers
Pretty much
crossed.
the only mistake from Neo was taking damage on that one spot. Synchronized moon grabs there. Nice.
There have been so many of those this run.
It's like Darker Side is just... You're grabbing a moon like every 10 seconds, it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like so likely for that to happen.
Didn't somebody do like a test of the average time between moons or something?
Yeah, I think in actuality it's like 20 seconds, but when you're talking the post game where moons are more frequent, it's probably like 15. I don't know. That's just a guess.
Bayleef taking the Wiggler, more consistent. Bayleef is known for that.
Yeah.
Alright, so Moon 2 has an interesting story behind it because back when Darker Side was first being routed by Spike Vegeta, he was like the main prominent router for this category. Moon 2 was way, way longer. We went all the way to the Sphinx. We did the quiz, we went inside the church with the doctor suit, but now we only get like 5 moons.
Yeah. Even like the 2D moon has gotten cut out. It was like the 2D moon has been like added in and cut out a couple times, I think. But yeah, it's just like 5 moons here now.
We have... Oh, I've actually never seen this before.
I was gonna say, like, the most recent change is actually doing these moons in reverse order. We found out was like a couple seconds faster.
I like how that's the easiest lurker in the whole game.
Yeah.
The one on ice is the hardest one by far. That's just ridiculous. And the one in Seaside is pretty dumb as well.
I think the Seaside one is worse than the ice one, honestly.
Okay, and now that he's done with... Never mind. I completely forgot about Luncheon.
Luncheon 3 strikes again. So this is the last, like, real kingdom, if you want to call it that. After Luncheon, he's gonna take the painting to Mushroom Kingdom, the last painting of the game, and there he'll collect the remaining moons, like the seeds that he planted earlier, and then he's gonna talk to Toadette 31 times. So enjoy your last kingdom where there's actual like interesting movement before we get to Darker Side.
I don't know, the movement to Toadette is pretty good.
Pretty spicy. I mean, there is Goomba jump, so.
Oh, he barely got that. Geez.
Yeah, that was crazy. I normally, like, I'm a scaredy cat, so I wait for the other... Oh, I think he...
He actually got that, wow.
Yeah, no, he's pretty good at that. I've seen him do it a few times recently. So yeah, him being able to leave that Podobo on the platform and jump up to where that moon was means he didn't have to drop down to the lower potobos, and saves like an extra jump, basically.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that without killing the guy.
Yeah, I don't either.
It looked like he didn't even move the Potobo at all, which is the crazy part.
Oh, he killed.
No.
He has to die. I don't know what he's
think if
doing.
he leaves him off screen, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
Yeah,
good to know.
if it's off screen, he comes back. I think...
Okay, he could save this. He can...
Oh,
he can live.
God.
Yeah.
Okay,
Stay cool, calm, and collected.
this is why lava physics are best in this game, because in SM64, or literally any other Mario game...
Oh, you'd be dead. You'd be toast.
You would probably bounce off that thing about 70 times. And then die immediately. With this game, Mario stays in the air for a good, like, second.
Yeah.
And it's still nice. Playing it really safe on the corn. Surprised. I do a momentum jump off that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, Neo potentially playing to his lead here. Just making sure to not do anything too drastic.
Got
because
that ground pound without the dive, and it scared me.
If he was to lose the Goombas there, he actually, like, the optimal thing to do would be to just die and get them to respawn, which would waste a lot of time. So, don't blame him for playing a little safe on the corn. So now he's gonna get that sub-area moon after the music toad. And he's also gonna play the best song in the game.
That's not... Why is there a 6 after the 4? That's weird.
Banned. So yeah, Neo will get this moon right now. Bayleef will skip that moon because he already got it first visit, and he'll get the treasure chest moon that Neo got first visit. So just like a little swap. Works out to be a little faster. Mostly because you're able to warp out, and Bayleef did go for that momentum jump off the corn. He actually went for it from really far away. That was a little risky. But
So, basically, the best situation for this game, like, the best gang to be in is counterclockwise topper 4 gang. Essentially.
no comment.
Track 4 is the best, topper's the best, and counterclockwise.
Track 4 is actually the worst thing you could pick. The day I found out you could pick this song instead was the best day of my life.
I only pick it for AUM because you last in that category. But I mean, hey, if sub 3 comes down to track 4,
I mean, it's only one extra input to pick track 46, so it's like fractions of a second.
oh, there's Farmer.
There's our girl.
Orgasm. What do you think she's even farming here? Like, turnips?
She's farming clout on me. Come on. Get with the program.
I mean, she's probably saving up for Smash ammo.
I get it. So another fun fact, we were idiots for a long time and climbed up to this this moon here instead of using the cannon.
Sick. For like the longest time.
It was just like such unnecessarily complex movement. And then someone one day was just like, hey guys, there's a cannon there and it's like kind of fast.
Still looks cool. Getting these notes here, and I am so glad 2D maze exist because we don't have to do this moon anymore. A 2D moon in Luncheon.
Yeah, this one, it's only fast enough if you do like a risky like momentum jump off of the moving platform, and it's easy to die.
Oh, Bayleef dropping off the platform. Is there even like an optimal route for these cracks? I see most people just do whatever.
I mean, what Neo is doing like is the general idea, but I've never seen a super optimal clip of this because you need like crazy spin pounds for all of them.
Limcube is the king of that, so he'll probably get one.
True. It's not so much like just getting the spin pounds, but you need to like redirect yourself after the spin pounds in weird directions. So it's kind of awkward. Yeah, Neo
Okay.
off to Mushroom Kingdom now. Just gonna do a little bit of roaming around, collect the last few moons here, and then talk to Toadette for a while. So definitely, once we get to Toadette,
304.57 star percent. Pretty good time. Failed brunching for about 3 hours, but we're fine. Now we get another jammin'. Okay, good. He actually picked the fastest track this time.
That's because the fastest track is actually a slapper, though. So it's okay.
I know people who don't like 8-bit Cascade, and they should not be able to run this game.
What? I mean, I was kind of mad that this moon got moved to second visit because I like 8-bit Cascade, but I don't like it as much as...
8-bit Night Sand is so good.
Well, I don't like it as much as the castle music.
Oh.
Peach's castle music. Which is what would play by default when you're collecting all the Toadette achievements if you do that moon first visit.
And that's the last shop. Unfortunately, no SM64 outfit, but...
Yeah, you can't have it all.
We'll have
Darker
it in the
Side-
AUM tourney.
Darker Side's the best category, but, you know, you can't have every good thing about the game. It's a
AUM
give and
tourney
take.
next.
AUM tourney, yeah. Okay.
Considering how this one worked out, that one's gonna be a breeze.
With all 3 runners of the category.
Just get every single person with a time on the leaderboard.
Well, you see, that would require me to participate, and
True.
that's gonna be a big ol' no thanks for me, dog.
See, you thought I meant the AUM leaderboard. I meant any percent.
Oh, jeez.
That would actually be the greatest thing. Any percent tournament with every single runner on it.
See, I still think an AUM race where it's Timpani versus a relay team of like 10 runners.
Oh, that would be insane.
Would be sick.
He'd probably win, which is the best part.
Honestly, I think he would. It depends on how people take it seriously, or how seriously people take it. Ooh,
Hey, we
go
did
for
have
that
an
checkpoint.
80% relay in March 10th of last year, because I remember that because it was Mario Day.
Dude, I was in that relay.
That was actually a really good relay. Turned out a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That was back before any percent got to this crazy level of optimization where...
Yeah, that was when record was like 104 or 103 or something.
Like if we had an 80% relay now, all the people in it would just be so obvious. like it would be no brainer who would be in the relay, but there were some pretty unexpected people in it that I didn't think would be picked. Well, I picked them, but I didn't think those people would sign up.
They were all top 20 runners at the time.
Bayleef was in that relay, actually.
Yep, Bayleef was in that relay.
Metro.
I think the only person who was in that relay who's still like a top 10-ish runner is Fur.
I was about to say me, but I'm like 15th place.
Yeah, I mean, you're like the next closest. I think, anyways. I can't remember everybody who was in it. Alright, so yeah, Neo's just gonna talk to that here 31 times.
Oh yeah, he got Goomba Jump first try, by the way.
Yes, he did. And Bayleef coming up on that now.
That's the problem with Odyssey nostalgia. Once you start talking about it, you can't stop.
Dude, I mean, me and you have been around this community pretty much since the beginning. So
yeah.
we've got a lot of memories. I mean, it's only been like what, a little over a year, like almost a year and a half. Yeah, almost a year and a half at this point, but it feels like a long time, you know?
Former Darker Side multiple-time world record holder. Feels good, man. Oh no, Bayleef.
Oh! So you got the first try jump onto the castle, but got a little bit of a misguided dive there.
That was probably Cappy's fault.
Yeah, always blame Cappy.
There we go.
So, I mean, safe to say that this is Neo's race to lose. He's gonna... I mean, considering the gameplay here is just talking to Toadette until you get to Darker Side, he's gonna take a pretty significant lead into Darker Side. So he's probably gonna have to take a death of some sort for Bayleef to come back. But Darker Side, it's
Honestly,
not the hardest level in the world, but things can happen.
Knowing the prophecy of Bayleef in this tournament, he'd probably end up winning somehow. He always comes out on top somehow. Oh my god, they're in sync! It's such a close race. This is always so fun.
So the only thing that is like even remotely interesting we could talk about, we've already mentioned, and that's the first person thing. Like if they go in first person perfectly on every one of these, they'll save 12 seconds over not doing
You
it.
can play rock, paper, scissors with Mario.
That's true. I forgot about that. So chat, go ahead and play rock, paper, scissors with Mario for the next like couple minutes.
Doing Dark Side Toadette achievements after this category, it feels like nothing. You get like 12, I think.
Yeah, Dark Side is super short. It's like almost off-putting how short it is. Yeah, actually they're playing rock, paper, scissors with each other. This is how you determine the true outcome of the race.
Oh yeah, they are.
Finishing the Darker Side level doesn't matter. Whoever wins the most rock, paper, scissors
Well,
is the real winner.
we have to go back in the VOD now to see. Oh, they tied. Dang. It'd be funny if it was just a set pattern this whole time and we didn't know.
It's from what I've observed, it seems pretty random. So that's Neo's last one. Bayleef needs 12 more. He should need 12 more.
Hopefully,
so
it's not like
those
it's
take about
8-2
7 seconds, so it's like a minute and a half difference almost.
Well, actually, I hope this is like his HDQ run where he misses 2 moons, because then we'll raise over $2 million. How did it feel to be there in person, Curb, when it happened?
Oh, it was crazy. That room was nuts.
I had to look at that Odyssey group photo for like 10 minutes to figure out who was Limcube and who was you.
Oh my god, people kept saying that we looked similar, but I don't know, man, I don't see it. Maybe from like really far away, we look vaguely similar, you know, like dark hair.
Beard.
Little bit of facial hair. I don't know. I don't think we look that similar though. His
Just stand
glasses are
next to
bigger
him
than
and
mine.
both of you talk at the same time.
Neo got the nice vector up to the top platform there.
This is a very interesting frog skip setup. Oh, where'd he go? Alright, Darker Side. Nintendo's very poor attempt at hardest level in the game.
Yeah, it's not a super difficult level, especially considering the most difficult part of it we can skip.
Pokio, god.
So yeah, I do think it would take a death from Neo at this point for Bayleef to come back.
Yeah. He would have to die like right now to still be in the lead, probably.
There are mistakes you can make in Darker that will lose you time, especially like in this section Neo's in right now, but nothing that will lose you like a minute and a half unless you take a death, like really far in. So, like realistically, Neo just has to play this safe, and he's gonna be our champion, but we will see.
Uprootless.
A death is certainly not out of the question.
Especially here.
Yes, I'm actually a little surprised he's going for Uprootless, but that's the scariest part right there, just making sure you don't value dive to get up to this part. And he actually makes it through.
Nice cap bounce. Oh my god.
That was actually really clean.
Dang.
Like, you don't have much leniency to save time with Uprootless, but the way Neo did there definitely saved time, for sure.
I believe he's actually done an IL of this. I think it's on the IL leaderboard. He did an IL of this with no major skips. And the section, like, the auto-scroller that you skip with all the fuzzy guys, that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, Neo's done, like, all kinds of ILs for this level.
And then, like, when I watched that, I remembered that there was a DK section for the first time. I completely forgot about that.
Yep, DK section, a Bowser section.
Well, everyone knows the Bowser part. That part's fun. It has one little skip in it.
Yeah, I really like the DK section as well. I wish we could, like, I wish how it turned out is that Glidon allowed you to skip the Pokeo section and still let you do the other two.
Yeah.
That would be like the most fun version of Darker Side to me.
It sucks that the Bowser section just has the Moon Cave music and not like not the like super anime escape music, but like the song before the pillars.
Alright, so Neo's gonna take Glidon all the way to the end of the level, basically. He's gonna skip over the pipe that takes you to the Pokeo section, which would take you to the Bayleef might die. Oh, that was tight. He was about to take damage a second time, but I'm sure he probably knows his limit there.
Yeah, once the ticker, like there's a little sound that goes off when you're about to take damage, and it goes faster and faster.
Yeah.
Once it gets really fast, you have to hurry up.
So Neo making it cleanly over that entire gap, skipping basically the back half of the dungeon. So,
and both runners just killed Yoshi, by the way.
You know, sometimes they just disappoint you.
What is this camera? I don't like it.
I don't either.
Goes for a U-skip with this camera angle. Honestly, U-skip could give Bayleef the win. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen a run die to U-skip, though.
I've not had a PB run die, but I did die there once when I was just finishing in a reset. It was like the worst day of my life. Not to be, you know, over dramatic or anything, but
Okay, so Bayleef is did the good strat for that scarecrow where he threw it from under and backflipped up.
No, that's the terrible strat because it always takes 2 cap throws because it hits the coins first.
Yeah. So Neo actually got that shake jump that killed his PB one time because he didn't have enough momentum.
All right, so yeah, Neo is just making this final climb. He's about to touch the multi-moon, and that is
don't fall
time for Neo.
Let's go.
Like a 3:17.55 or 56.
That was definitely an upset. Did not expect
honestly,
that.
It is to an extent, just because obviously Bayleef is the world record holder, but you know, like we said coming in, Neo could hold his own here. He is like a higher skill ceiling kind of player, but Bayleef generally has the consistency, but Neo was able to hold it down.
Wow, he killed Glidon.
It happens, you know?
Yeah, Neo is your Darker Side tournament champion. This tournament took a lot longer than it probably should have, but I'd say it was worth it.
But hey, ultimately, Darker Side is a great category. I always encourage people to try it out. Pretty much anyone who and Bayleef giving us the thank you. I encourage anyone to try it out. Typically, people who try this category wind up liking it quite a bit.
So our top 4 for this tournament was Neo, Bayleef, J. Cool, and Kerbis. Don't know who that is, but he got 4th.
Yeah, what a...
And I got 13 because I dropped out. Thanks, 602. Bayleef finishing up here. Both getting sub 320 still. Very good times from both.
Still really solid runs from both guys. Well, they both popped my PB, so proving their worth at the top of the leaderboard. I hope you guys enjoyed not only this match, but the whole tournament.
Despite all the no commentary matches.
Yeah, it's tough to find commentary, but me and Ami here, we wanted to make sure we sent you off with a nice, well-commentated run, so I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you're looking for a fun game to get into, there's no better choice than SMO Darker Side, in my humble opinion.
As long as you have the time.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long category, but if you have the time for it, it's a really cool run.
See if we can get at least Bayleef in here for an interview, because I don't think Neo will.
He might, but well, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, he said no. So, Kerbis, in terms of going forward for speed gaming, if there were to be another Odyssey tournament, what would you like to see? Another bingo? Another any percent?
Honestly, like, I'm always down for bingo, and something that hasn't been explored in tournament format is like lockout bingo.
Oh, I don't really like lockout that much, but
see, I actually tried it for the first time a couple weeks ago, and it's actually like the most stressful thing I've ever done in speedrunning. Like, it legitimately gets my heart pumping, which I did not expect. But I think it'd be fun. Even like, I don't even know if I would participate in a lockout bingo tournament, but I would love to commentate that kind of stuff. But some form of bingo, like, I think bingo makes for like the best tournaments, basically.
Yeah, just because it's not one-sided at all. Like, anybody could win.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, it's like a different skill set from speedrunning. It's really fun, though.
I don't know if Bayleef is going to be interviewing either, because he hasn't responded yet, but we'll see.
I think bingo makes for like the best tournaments, basically. Yeah, I mean, if not,
that's
fine. I said, I hope everybody enjoyed at least this this final match. Like I said, I hope we sent it off with a good bang. It's really fun, though.
I keep forgetting my Japanese name is gone. I have a giant smile on my face every time I type in chat now.
But yeah, this was a fun time. I'm sure Super Mario Odyssey will be back on speed gaming in some capacity in the future.
Yeah, I think GSA is kind of leading the way for Odyssey right now with their any percent league, but
now we got Bayleef in here.
Oh, sick, we got Bayleef.
Bayleef, first off, congratulations on getting second place in this tournament. Maybe not the run you wanted, but
oh god,
yeah, but you know, things happen. Harriet sometimes happens.
Oh god, that's what you get for doing Harriet.
I've been having trouble with my stick angles.
Oh really?
I think I might have to switch to my other Pro controller.
Yeah, the Pro controllers, they're not. I don't know, like, they're generally decently sturdy, but sometimes they just give out on you, especially the sticks.
I'll take what is it, 15 months of abuse?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. 15 months out of a one controller. I mean, can't ask for much more than that.
My left Joy-Con stick snapped off, and I don't have one anymore. So. Yeah. Do you think you played pretty well at least throughout post game? Because your any percent was kind of rough.
80% was pretty bad. First game, let me look. I messed up the see-throughs and mushroom. I got trolled in snow. I think we all saw that.
Oh yeah.
Didn't up throw, didn't capture the typhoon.
Oh yeah, like I didn't even know you could take damage on those.
I was so mad.
Yeah, both snow visits really got you with the snow clip on the first visit, and then the
I
typhoon.
messed up one thing in Bowser's. I rolled one extra time. That kind of messed up my setup. That's what I was just practicing. I messed it up 3 days in a row. I messed up flooded pipeway and wooded, and other than that, I mean, everything else is kind of rock solid.
Yeah, I mean the post game, I think both of you kind of had pretty rough early games, and you actually wound up coming out of Moon like pretty much around the same time. But
Oh, wow.
your post games were much better for both of you for sure. But I think like you lost like a lot of time on Harriet, and then Neo lost like just as much time on
Yeah,
Robo
I lost
Brood.
about 30 seconds on Harriet.
Yeah, I think Neo took like 4 or 5 tries to climb the leg of Robo Brood, so he pretty much gave all that time back right away. But yeah, the post games were definitely much better, I would say, which is
I got what is it? Value dived and cascade. I guess that's what they call it.
yeah, that was unfortunate.
Twice.
All right,
Yeah,
I gotta head out so Kerbis, you can finish off the interview. GG again, Bayleef. Hope you continue to push the category even further because you've just been so
I'm gonna
dominant.
get 314. I need to update the route. I think I'm about at least 30 seconds of time save from route differences at this point.
Yeah, we were kind of
Actually-
talking about it during the race. There have been like a couple recent changes just the last week or two that I know you didn't do in this run. I wasn't sure if there were things that you were working on putting in yet.
No, I've just been busy with work and stuff, so I haven't had time to peep into the channel.
Yeah, we'll get you caught up on that stuff. So is that like that kind of your plan? Get like 314, 313, or what did you say your time you wanted was?
Well, I guess it depends how much the route changes, but as of right now, probably low 314 is realistic.
Cool. Yeah, sounds like a pretty solid goal for now. I know. I don't know what your like long-term plans are, but I get the feeling that you'll tend to push this category like long-term in the future as well.
As long as stuff keeps getting found, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. And we were also talking about hopefully after some of these guys get sub-hour any percent, they'll come over to Darker Side and help us optimize some stuff. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
3 hours.
Yeah, get to a sub 3 incoming.
Yeah, okay.
We might need like 5 or 10 years for that. Who knows?
We need some cutscene skips to be found.
Yeah, we need some kind of help. That's for damn sure. But yeah, I guess anything else you want to say about your run, about the tournament, about Darker Side, about life?
Let's not host tournaments around Christmas.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. Hectic time of year. This definitely got dragged out a little longer than it probably should have, but
Yeah, I think any category over 2 hours shouldn't be done in the holidays.
yeah. Or even just like limited to a bit of a smaller tournament in general.
It happens.
Yeah, stuff happens, life happens, especially like in the speedrunning community, like around the holidays, you also have HADQ, so
Yeah.
that just adds to everything being all hectic. But yeah, I mean, if that's all you have, then I guess we can go ahead and call it a day and hand it off. I don't know if there's more stuff coming up on this channel today, but there's always stuff going on the Speed Gaming channel, so I'm sure go to any one of their channels and there's probably something on right now that's fun to watch. But yeah, that's going to be it for the Darker Side.
Or as Aria of Shadow, or Aria of Soul.
There you go. If you're looking for some speedrun content. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for the Darker Side tournament. And congrats to Neo for taking home the victory once again, and to Bayleef, the runner-up. And we'll see you guys in the future for some other sort of Odyssey tournament.